What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's up, friends and family? Tomorrow we're going to be back in, I anticipate, let me not promise. I anticipate being back in the studio, right across the hall over there. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel? Yeah, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling great. Life is absolutely awesome. And I have no complaints whatsoever. What's going on, friends? Oh, we got some Dusties in the building already. Jealousy is the language of suckers. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Back in the building. Back from Croatia. Awesome time in Croatia. Had to go to the bank today in order to give them some money so that they can do a currency exchange and put some of that money back in my pocket. And we here. All right. So we got AD. I'll just say that Dr. Phil episode you was on. I actually did 2 Dr. Phil episodes. A lot of people may not know that. I did 1 Dr. Phil episode, and then I did 2 Dr. Phil episodes. So I've been around the block. I got some upcoming interviews and some things going on, so I'm looking forward to cooking up on that front. I'm getting too many interview requests and a lot of offers. That Interview Like a King has me in a surplus. Well, that's because you're a part of the Bag Chasers. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We got a live stream on Patreon this week. So that should be awesome. It's a lot of things going on this week. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping before I get into reading super chats and cash apps and all of that stuff. And we start to get into the show because we got a full show for y'all today. Q show tonight on After Hours. All right. So make sure y'all tap into that. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. Brian McKnight interview drops Wednesday. All right. So we putting the final touches on that. That's going to be dope. Vlog dropping almost every single day this week. I'm back to vlogging every single day. So I'm looking forward to that. It drops Wednesday, Jason A-Team, okay? If you are not a part of the Bag Chasers and the Patreon, you're going to miss out. It's a lot of people getting a lot of money, Interview Like a King. We got some great things happening. I got some updates to the we got Block Club coming up this week. So we haven't done Block Club in a little while. So I'm gonna give y'all an update on the redesign that I got going on. And then breaking ground on the new place. And so we got a lot happening. So it's a lot going on. If you are not tapped into the network, Anton Daniels channel, Millionaire Morning Show, Room 9, Darth Anton, except the Darth, the A is a V. So it's Darth Anton with an A and a V. Drop that in the chat. My beautiful
mods, my beautiful mods. And yeah, I'm putting together the Patreon meetup. So that's the next play. Patreon meetup. I'll be letting y'all know about that within the next week or two as soon as we secure where we're going to be. And then I got a lot of interviews coming up within the next few weeks. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more traveling before the end of the year. And I want to get some insight from you guys. So if you had to go and spend a month or two in the spring, if you had to go spend a month or two in the spring in a foreign country, or here's a caveat. If you had to go spend 2 weeks in 3 different places, so you go 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here, you come home, 2 weeks there, you come home, 2 weeks there, you come home, and you do it in the spring, what 3 places would you go to? What 3 places would you spend 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks? So every 3 weeks, you in a different place. Where would you go? See, Japan. Greece, that's a good one. Florida, Italy, Norway, Germany, Turkey, Italy. Barcelona, Spain. I was thinking about Spain, Chris Evans. It's funny you say that. I was thinking about Spain. I haven't been to Spain. Costa Rica, Japan, Italy, South Korea, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Tokyo, Rio de Janeiro, Ireland, Detroit, Greece, London, Italy, Japan. You go to my house? Don't come to my house. Austria, St. Lucia, Italy, Aruba, Japan, Africa, South America, Asia, Japan, Spain, Germany. Y'all don't want to go to no other. I want to go to Singapore. I've been to Japan. I'm thinking about Singapore. I think Singapore might be a play too. So I don't know. I'm trying to put together something international. I want to do a little bit more international as well as domestic. And I'm going to figure that out. So I want to get y'all perspective of what y'all think. Let me know inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon again. If y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of Patreon members, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. So first of all, I want to say good morning on this phenomenal Monday, November 17th, 2025, year of our Lord. We are in the second to last month of the year. 2025 it's been awesome. So many milestones in 2025. Since they took away the 4 floors of whores, I can't do Singapore anymore. Is that a rhyme or are you for real? Y'all go outside the country for women? Interesting. Very interesting. Trees, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Trees. I appreciate you. Thank you, Trees, for rocking out with us. Hey, everybody in the chat, make sure y'all wish Trees a happy birthday. Brandy, good morning, Brandy. Good morning, everybody. Trolls, if you are trolling, then you're going to get a little slap on the wrist. We're not going to delete you, but we definitely going to make sure that we keep it G. We want people that's actually engaged, regardless of whether you agree or you disagree. We want people that are actively engaged. You know what I'm saying? We don't want people that, like, this ain't that. We grown over here. You know what I'm saying? We grown. We don't want, we off the trolling. We growing and we going into the next phase of our life. And so we just graduating. It's time to graduate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all agree or y'all disagree? It's time to graduate. Time to graduate. We done did all of that other stuff. We done participated in the nonsense. What up, Keisha? And it don't mean that we ain't gonna have no fun, because we definitely gonna have fun. But it's definitely time to graduate. It's time to graduate. It's time to go to the next level. We off the nonsense. We gonna have some disagreements and agreements, but we graduating. We off that. If y'all looking for like the dusty stuff, then y'all got to go somewhere else from now on. I just been on a whole nother wave. I ain't on none of that nonsense no more. On the bigger and better things, facts. Chris Cunningham, I'm working it out, bro. I'm working it out. Anaka, you with me, Treese? Happy birthday, K Cooper. What up, Terrible People Podcast? What up, though? Brandy says, I agree. It's time. I'm a man. I will admit Anton got. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the props. Y'all trying so hard to make us hate him. Y'all believe the most dumbish-ish. Some people stuck. Well, some people that got this high school mentality. They never graduated past high school. So you got to give them grace. But we don't have to allow for them in our spaces. So that's why we separate ourselves. That's why we bag chasers. That's why we moving in a different direction. All right, y'all, let's get started. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with your notifications. We got a lot of things that we got to deep dive into that we want to cover at length. And thank you, Johnny Bravo. Thank you, everybody. So let me acknowledge the people that support the platform before we get started. The most, you do not have to give a Cash App or a Super Chat or anything like that. We just want to acknowledge the people that do because it's all voluntary. Samuel says, did you try any Croatian dishes? And if so, what? Not really. Not really. I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really spend a lot of time. I was only there Wednesday through Sunday. And I didn't really spend a lot of time. Thank you, Samuel, for the Cash App. I didn't spend a lot of time in the streets and exploring Croatian culture as much. I will say that Black people, this is all right. So this is a good conversation. Okay. I don't know what level of programming that they continue to try to put into us to make you believe that you're a victim, but you're not a victim. Not only are you not a victim, and this goes for Black men, Black women everywhere. Not only are you not a victim, because Leslie communicated it separately to me, Rita communicated it separately to me, and then we had this conversation on the way to the airport, on the way to the Croatian airport, and then we were flying on the way home, right? And I don't know where this victim mentality came from to where we're supposed to perpetually be a victim for the rest of our life. But I will tell you that Black people worldwide, Black Americans specifically, I can't speak to Africans, I can't speak to Nigerians, I can't speak to Jamaicans, I can't speak to all of these other cultures and these people that got their thing going on, but we look different, we act different, and we treat it different. We're looked at differently, we act different, and we're treated differently. And I'm speaking on that in a positive way. I have not been to a country, and I have been to multiple different countries. My passport is stamped up. I have not been to a country. I've been to Paris. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to Tokyo. I've been to Croatia, right? Zagreb. I've been to Bucharest, Dominican Republic, Mexico City. And I'm not the most traveled person in the world, but I will tell you that I have traveled more in my 43 years on this earth than most people ever will in their lifetime. It's a lot of people that got some more stamps on their passport. Yes, I've been to Canada too. I've been to several parts of Canada. Windsor, Toronto, and it's one more. I forgot what the name of it. But I have been to a lot of places. Not all, but I've been to a lot of places. I have always been treated phenomenally. When I was over in Zagreb in Croatia, Leslie, because she's well-traveled also, and as Rita laughs about it, but they treat you like, because it's not a lot of Black people there, Black Americans, they can tell that you're an American from your accent, from their perspective, you have an accent, but they can tell that you're American, but then on top of that, they treat you like gold. They do. They be like, yo, I mean, they don't say yo, but they just treat you better than they treat their own people. And this is just the honest to God truth. I haven't experienced any form of racism. And the only time in my entire life that I've ever experienced a clashing just based off of the color of my skin has come from people in the United States of America that are Black Americans. I haven't experienced it from people that are Black that's not from America. I haven't experienced it from white people. I haven't experienced it from people, Croatians. I haven't experienced it from Japanese, Chinese, people over in Bucharest, Romania. I haven't experienced it from Mexicans. I have not experienced any negative feedback, oh, racism, you not welcome here, none of that stuff. I have never in my life, in 43 years, received any kind of pushback. And this is just my personal experience, so I can only speak for myself. I have never experienced any negativity whatsoever. Not one thing except for here in the United States of America from Black people. Now, that is not to say, well, let me remove that. Back up. Not from Black people, from Black culture. Not from Black people, from Black culture. Black culture is the things that the culture here in the United States of America celebrate and push the most. Somebody says you are rich and wealthy. They don't know that. They don't know me from a can of paint. I'm over there. I wear an Apple Watch with the Nike band. It's charging right now. When I'm over there, I don't wear a Rolex. I dress regular. I catch Ubers. Anywhere I go outside of the United States of America, I am just a normal, everyday person like everybody else. I'm not flashy. I don't make myself a target. I don't do any of that type of stuff. I don't even wear these glasses. I don't bring these glasses with me overseas. I will usually have on a black t-shirt. I have on a regular hoodie, as you know, if it's a little chilly. And that's how I move, unless I'm dressing up to go somewhere. I'm a normal person like everybody else. And so what I'm trying to understand, right, especially from people within the Black community that is inside of the United States of America, is it that you speak differently? Is it because you treat people differently when you go out of town? When you travel abroad, do you have pushback or feedback from people that don't like you because you're disrespecting their culture? People extend grace and respect according to how you treat them. I have never had a problem with the police. I've never had a confrontation outside of the United States of America, any of that type of stuff, right? So where is this universal racism that exists anywhere except for when you go into the hood and there's people looking to rob you? Where is this? We're a victim and we need to be helped. I would argue that we are treated way better. They look at you like you're a fucking exotic animal. They treat you, somebody said Mexicans don't. They like us, they love to get tourist money. I only want to be treated how I treat other people. I only want to be treated how I treat other people. So if my experience outside of the United States of America warrants good treatment and they treat you like an exotic animal, oh my, you from America? Bro, they was like telling me about the Lions and the Red Wings and the Tigers did good. Tigers did good this year. I'm like, y'all follow Americans? Y'all follow Detroit sports? Where y'all following Detroit sports from? Y'all get that on y'all TVs over here? You know, and it's like, I can also understand why people leave the United States of America that are Black. Because I think that some of us, which I'm never leaving because I love the United States of America. I love my city. I love my state. I love traveling the United States of America. I'm American true and through. Your experience outside of the United States of America, when you leave the culture here, you get to see that it's not what people are painting it out to be. So much to the point where we need to just wash the plate and the slate clean in the United States of America. We do. We got to wash the slate clean. We have to, because we teach racism in our own households. We teach ourselves to wait for somebody or to look for somebody to hate you, or if you don't get the job or you don't get the position, it's because you're Black. Or if it's not because you weren't prepared, it's not because the other person had a better resume, it's not because you interviewed bad, it's not because you're not a cultural fit, it's not because you can't speak well and articulate yourself, it's not because you do not have the education or you do not have the work experience, it's only because you Black. Only. That's the only conclusion that we can deduce from this whole situation. And the reason why racism is so prevalent in the United States of America is because we keep promoting it. We literally promote it even where it don't exist. You know, one of the subjects that I got on Q show tonight, it's going to be really great. It's, you know, I did a review video of a woman that says that she used to be liberal. She's a white woman, and she used to be liberal. And because she was taught as a liberal white woman that Black people needed help, she just by default dumbed her speeches down when she was in proximity and communication with Black people in order to make herself seem more relatable. And it's like, what? What do you mean? I can articulate myself well. I'm doing well. I am in the top 1% of the people in the United States of America, even though we only 13.6% of the population. I'm doing better than the overwhelming majority of white people. I don't need your handouts. Like we promote it from the top. Children that don't even know anything about racism. Gen Zers overwhelmingly has never experienced any real racism in their real life. But yet they sit here and they're the most victim-hooded, I'm oppressed looking, never went through anything. And it's crazy to me. It is insane. We make this a Black versus white thing because we don't have nothing else better to do. And instead of us focusing on character, instead of us focusing on economics, instead of us focusing on spirituality, instead of us focusing on creating better family dynamics, we separate ourselves just based off of race alone. It's crazy to me. It really is crazy to me. It's insane. So I personally experienced, like I always do, a great time in other cities and other communities. And I will not put that into my daughter because my daughter has traveled the world at such an early age before she even turned 18 years old, because she's traveled the United States of America. She don't believe in that. She has been taught from her culture, right? The culture that me and her mother raised her in. She has been taught from her church. She has been taught because of her real life experiences of traveling with her parents and to see how people really are, that it's not like that. It just really isn't. And so my advice because I can't speak to people that are in it, the people that are trapped by their own ignorance. I can't speak to you. If you are a nigga, you just gonna be a nigga for the rest of your life, and that's just the way that it is. If you are a person that is a victim and a slave, we can't wait for you to die off. If you are a person that only talk about racism and dividing yourself against other people, and the only thing that you have is to go into other people's live streams to speak negatively to them, but cannot add anything into the conversation. And if I drop the link in the chat, and if you had courage enough to come up here, you would sound like an ignorant buffoon, and you wouldn't even want to turn your camera on because we would see the sheets covering up your windows instead of blinds, and the fact that you still live in your mama's basement, then I can't help you. I don't speak to you. I'm not trying to grab you out of the mud. I think that pigs should do what pigs do. They should wallow in the mud and they should eat shit. This is not for you. This is to continue to reinforce. This is to continue to reinforce what we have been preaching, is that you are not a victim. You do not live in the victim Olympics. You do not run in the victim Olympics. There is nothing that is preventing you from being successful. And the only thing that you have to do is take ownership and responsibility for your life, and it will take off. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through stuff. That does not mean that you're not going to suffer. It doesn't mean that everything and everybody is going to bow down to your feet. But what it does mean is that you are going to be great. You are going to be successful. And as long as you take ownership and responsibility and seek God and then attempt to be the best version of yourself every day, you're going to take incremental steps into being successful and great. And then you're also going to surround yourself and find yourself in the company of a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. You are what you attract. If your life is fucked up, most of the time, nine times out of 10, it is because you are the thing that you attract. If you are in a fucked up situation with a person, excuse my French, but I got to talk about it. If you're in a messed up situation with somebody that you think is horrible for you, is because you're a horrible person. If your friend group is dusty and you dusty, you're dusty because you attract yourself to dusty people. If you are always talking about how you're a victim and how racism is playing a role in your life, is because chances are you're a racist person. And so I have zero energy. I am in such a phenomenal space. I'm in such a great space. I have zero energy for anybody and anything that is slowing me down and that is progressing me. I had to have a conversation with somebody this morning and I said, listen, you're allowing for negativity to play a role in your life from the people that you surround yourself with because you keep on letting them talk to you the way that they're talking to you. You need to set clear boundaries, not be disrespectful, but just set clear boundaries. Hey, listen, if we're not talking about something positive, if we're not progressing, if we're not talking about something that's beneficial to other people, if all you want to do is gossip, I can't be on the phone right now. I can't be on the phone right now. So y'all gonna have to clear out your friend group. You need to make new friends with people that are awesome. I don't have capacity for that anymore. Even when it comes to content creation, I don't want to talk about certain things anymore, so I don't. I don't watch. Y'all asked me last week, y'all said, Anton, did you watch this particular debate? I said, no, I haven't seen it. You said, why? I said, because I did that, done that, been there, had those conversations, talked about it for years. It's time to move on. I'm ready to progress. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to push people in a better direction. I'm not interested in having the same rhetorical conversations that I already know what people are going to say. The only thing I care about is the things that I care about and continuing to push forward. I don't have it. I don't have it in me. I woke up, I felt incredible this morning. I felt incredible this morning. That's all I know. That's all I know. So I want to say I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down. Thank you for adding value into my life. I love you. You guys are the most awesome group of people ever. And last piece of advice, just really quickly. If you don't acknowledge it, they'll get frustrated and leave. For all of my bag chasers, for everybody in the chat, for people that get disgusted when other people are just busy trying to do stuff, if you ignore, like, it's like the class clowns, right? For class clowns in school, if you never acknowledge them, if you never laughed at their little jokes, if you didn't say, oh, you so stupid, they thrive off of negativity. If you don't acknowledge it, if you act like they don't even exist, they'll go away. Because they'll go and bother somebody else. They'll go troll somewhere else. So just don't acknowledge it. Act like they don't exist. Act like you don't see them. And then eventually one of the mods will catch it, time them out, and then they'll get frustrated and they'll leave. I don't even entertain it no more. I'm so above this shit. And so are you. You so above it. You are so above these low-level conversations. When you don't laugh at somebody's joke because they're trying to interrupt the class, they feel dumb. They feel dumb. So it doesn't matter. Just don't even acknowledge it. Don't do none of that. The only people that I'm going to acknowledge going forward, and I want y'all to hold me accountable on this. Man, occasionally we might have a Friday, Saturday crash out show. But the only people that I'm looking forward to acknowledging going forward, whether you disagree or agree, you can disagree, are people that have constructive things to add into the conversation. I'm not acknowledging anything else that don't matter. Treese, don't acknowledge it. Y'all ready to continue on? Well, I get on the trolls for entertainment. Sometimes I'll acknowledge something to create a clip. You know what I'm saying? To monetize them. So sometimes I'll do it to monetize them. I'll do that occasionally because that's a money play. But when it comes to healthy dialogue and conversation, I don't pay attention. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? All right, let's get to it. Let me acknowledge a couple more cash apps and super chats, and then we're gonna rock out. Christopher Williams. Shout out to my dog Christopher Williams. I appreciate you for the 25 ball. Mike, that dude, what up, though? I appreciate you. Kimberly, what up, Kim? Kim, yo, I see my snow bunnies in the building. My snow bunny said 2 drinks. Love your content. What up to Kimberly? I appreciate you. My snow hair. Marco says, appreciate you. Thank you, Marco. A. Wyatt says, fly, Eagles fly. All right. Yeah, your Eagles won last night. That's cool. Spencer Campbell, thank you to my guy. I appreciate you, Spencer Campbell. And thank you to everybody that continues to add value into our lives. All right. Let's continue on with the show. So I want to acknowledge some of the super chats. Abe the Hunter says, prayers go out to Nate the lawyer. What's wrong with Nate the lawyer? What happened to Nate the lawyer? Let's see. Something happened with Nate the lawyer? Oh, snaps. Hold on. Let me see what's going on.
Hey everybody, I am, as you can see, I'm in the hospital. I am about to head into surgery. It was pushed back because there was some complications with the MRI machine and some of the stuff, so I was supposed to go last night, but I'm about to head out in about 30, 40 minutes to start getting prepped for surgery. So I want to just let everybody know. Right now, I'm fine. The issue happened is that I was taking my family to do something, and I fainted in the morning, and then I fainted again. So we went to the doctor's office, and the doctor did a CAT scan, and they found this huge mass in my head, and they found that this mass was pushing on my brain, causing a lot of neurological issues. You know, I couldn't sleep. I was passing out. I was forgetful. I was confused about a lot of things. And this is just something that just kind of just started growing. So they freaked out. It was like, you got to get this thing out now. And they started, this thing is really, really going to affect you. So that's kind of where we're at now. I'm speaking to the neurologist who should be in here soon. So I just wanted to just get this before I actually go under the knife and let everybody know they believe I should be fine. Obviously, if I didn't get taken care of, this was life threatening, but we've hopefully caught it early. It's pretty big, but we'll see. My kids are scared because their mom went through that and she's recovered. But now I'm going through this. So I don't know if I'm going to have to go through chemo or whatever because they don't know if it's cancerous or not because they have to when they take it out, they're going to have to do the pathology on it. But they don't believe it's cancerous now. So cross their fingers. And they're hoping it's not cancerous now. I don't even, to be honest with you, I didn't know if I should even do this video, but I wanted to just make sure people knew what was going on with me from my voice. So thank you guys, all the people. YouTube has changed my life. And you people who watch these videos and who follow me have changed my life. And it's for the better. And I always hope to be better. And I always hope to do the right thing. And I know I make some of you mad when I say I hate this about this person, or I think this is ridiculous, and it's never meant in anger. It's never meant. It's always meant just to find the truth. And it seems like me being on that journey, a lot of you also were on that journey, and we're on that journey together. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. I'm about to come in and give me the final talk about what's gonna happen. So I'll be under the knife in a couple hours, and I'll send everybody an update after I finish. And I'm hoping I have my hair, because they said they may be able to do it and not cut off all my hair, where first they told me I'm gonna have to cut off all my hair to go.
So some people are asking who Nate the Lawyer is. I will show you guys what his channel is like. He has about 700,000 subscribers. This is him right here, Nate the Lawyer. I think that he takes more of a conservative take on most things. He did a really phenomenal job of covering Tiffany Henyard and covering a lot of legal things in the community. But he's a content creator, and I think that he's really, really great at what he does. And apparently he's going through health issues where he has to get surgery. And so apparently he has a brain tumor. And that's what he was speaking about in particular. And so I think that Nate the Lawyer is an incredible YouTuber. He is an incredible content creator. But I just want to remind people that we are not just our profession. Our profession is a way that we add value into the world. Some of us are really, really passionate about what it is that we do for a living. And at the end of the day, we are regular, everyday people like everybody else. Regular, everyday people like everybody else. He is a great, let's not, downsize it. I don't know him in person personally, but I am familiar with his work, and he's familiar with my work. And I think that he's really great at what he does. But at the same time, he's a human being. He's a human being. And sometimes we think that just because people are on the screen that they don't have real life situations, that in this case, he has a brain tumor that he has to have surgery for. And I really do. I hope that the people that are observing this or having this conversation about his life or whatever, I hope that they are not looking at this and saying, oh my God, I'm glad that he's going through it or whatever, so on and so forth. I hope that they're not doing that. He does a lot of big videos too. I hope that they're not doing that. I hope that they're not, looking at this as an opportunity to just gossip without prayer. Don't gossip.
Hey everybody, I am
the issue without praying for him. You know what I'm saying? So I do. I hope that he's doing really well. I hope that everything is working out in his life. I don't like the fact that he's going through this. And keep him in your prayers. So I'm going to just say a quick prayer personally for him, because I don't want anybody to have to deal with this type of thing. So, Lord, be with him. Be with the doctors. Be with his family. Be with him personally. Comfort him. Let him know that everything is all right, and then he got a community of people that is praying for him. And we don't have to know him in person just to be able to pray for somebody and add value into their life. So, bless him, Lord, and bless him as he go through this, for him to have a successful surgery and to bring him through, and to also let him know that you play a huge role in the success of his life. In Jesus' name, amen. I don't like it, man. I don't like when people go through stuff like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all human beings at the end of the day. And for any one of us, this type of stuff can happen. For any one of us, this type of stuff can happen. All right. So shout out to Nate the Lawyer. We got you in our prayers, big dog. And we can't wait for you to get better so you can get back on your grind and put out this dope content. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nate the Lawyer. Chip Burner says ICE is in Charlotte, North Carolina, cleaning up the city, and the Dems are upset about it. Are they? All right. Well, we're going to have to add that to the docket. Nice. And see, Charlotte. We're going to get there. I'm adding that in there. Keith Woodson says, if Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a BJ, how will his simps defend him on that? I don't. Thank you for your $5. Mr. 15150, I appreciate you. Raw Rodriguez says, a culture, training, education, and refinement of the mind, moral and manners. Thank you, my dog. All production, I appreciate you. No more excuses says, what up, dog? What up, big dog? Been to 19 different countries, lived in 7. People don't travel and go outside tourist areas, so that don't get a true experience. I agree, no more excuses. Thank you for the 20 ball. Just a brown girl in America says, hey, Anton. Hello, chat. I hope all is well. Bless you all. What's up, brown girl? Daniel Smith says, I lived in Sao Paulo, Brazil this year for 4 months. I was treated extremely well. Don't let internalized racism hold you back. Christopher Mayberry says, I saw that boy Landman when I flew into ATL airport overnight. Shout out to Slimmy. Wesley Turner says, AD, Vince Everett Ellison has a video where he is trying to get a white-lived woman to explain her privilege to him, and she was sounding stupid. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, y'all. Let's deep dive into it a little bit more. Before we really get started, I want to address local issues. So we usually, when we are in town and when we're stable, we talk about all kind of different issues. And this is one that I felt like it was important for us to have a conversation about, because I like to look at things holistically, and I also want to react to things in real time. Thank you, Eric OG. I'm definitely going to acknowledge that super chat shortly. But in Atlanta, or in the Atlanta area, apparently there was a young man that got shot 17 times from an off-duty police officer in the back. Let's get into it.
Tonight, only on 11 Alive, family and friends of a Metro Atlanta man killed by an off-duty Atlanta police officer in Buckhead are demanding justice. 44-year-old Linton Blackwell was shot in a parking lot behind a bar on October 11th. Tonight, an autopsy report reveals Blackwell was shot 17 times and nearly every single bullet hit him in the back. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn has been following the story since the night it happened, and just hours ago, he filed this report after speaking with Blackwell's manager, who says he just wants justice for his best friend.
My name is Timothy Coleman, and I'm Linton Blackwell's manager.
Born and raised in Metro Atlanta.
Preferably from some projects called East Lake Meadows, a.k.a. Little Vietnam, which we rep proudly. We got it on the shirt right here.
44-year-old Linton Blackwell, better known in the local music scene as B. Greene, but more importantly, a father, brother, and son.
Big old family from the East Lake Meadows. I mean, a loving family, man, and I just hurt for him, man. You know, he just leaves a lot behind.
Blackwell was shot and killed by Atlanta police officer Gerald Walker, who was off duty working a side job in Buckhead at 5 Paces Inn.
I just fell to my knees because I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that it was 17 times in the back. Like all the shots. It's not one shot in the front. It's all 17 in the back.
Everyone agrees an altercation happened at the bar.
Linton, I guess, was escorted out of the premises or whatnot.
The GBI says Officer Walker approached Blackwell outside, followed him around the corner.
The officer ensued, chased him down, and gunned him down. That's what we know.
The GBI says Blackwell got into a vehicle and put something in the back of his waistband.
If he wasn't pointing a gun at you or doing anything, what does that have to do with you shooting him in the back 17 times? That means he wasn't facing you. He wasn't a threat. Okay?
The officer gave commands regarding a gun before the officer opened fire.
I want him locked up. Gerald Walker needs to be behind bars.
The GBI is still investigating. Once they finish, the case will be handed over to the DA to decide whether a grand jury will consider charges. Atlanta police also conducting their own internal investigation.
What's his name? Gerald Walker?
He wasn't facing you. He wasn't a threat. Okay?
The officer gave commands regarding a gun before the officer opened fire.
I want him locked up. Gerald Walker needs to be behind bars.
Gerald Walker. Gerald Walker. Let me just do it. Let's see. Walker Atlanta. This is apparently him. Gerald Walker. Yo, what up? Nah, let me see him. Hold on 1 second. You ain't even got no voice. You so toe up. Hold on 1 second. I'm on a live stream just to let you know.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, call me back. I forgot.
No. Hold on. Let me look at these pictures really quick. Oh, this looks really, really good. Yeah, this looks good. They doing the deck in the backyard?
Yeah. Do you see the black gutters?
Yeah, I see the black gutters. That looks really good. It looks incredible. Good job. Very, very great job. You're doing an incredible job.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to talk to you after the show.
All right, bye.
Bye. Y'all might not know it. That's Rita. Her voice is down because she's sick from being out of town. But we're going to get into it. Apparently, this is Gerald Walker, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see something. This is Gerald Walker from the Atlanta Police Department. And this is the person that killed him. He killed... let me see if I can go back. He killed Dog. So it sounds like it might have been a little bit of jealousy here. So Gerald Walker killed homie that's out here living it up with a good hairline. He out here making moves, shaking hands. And he out here in the street. And so Gerald Walker apparently decided that he wanted to be judge, jury, and executioner. And he is also an Atlanta police officer. So let me say this. This is my thoughts on the situation. If you shoot somebody in the back 17 times, let's put it in perspective, because I have a huge level of respect for police officers. You know it's over a hoe, Chad Smith. We all know that it's over a hoe. Listen, bro, if it ain't over money, it's over a hoe. If it ain't over money, and ladies, don't be offended. I want you to understand that there's a difference between a hoe and a housewife and a woman. A housewife is a woman that is married, that is doing the right thing. A woman is a woman that is a respectable human being, but they're not out here in the streets. A hoe is somebody that exhibits hoe behavior. So if it is not applicable to you, then do not think that it applies. We're separating them. We're putting them in different buckets, okay? So this ain't about you. We just talking real life. And we know that it is over a hoe all day long. All day long. It's unfortunate that I even have to explain that so that people understand the context and that we don't hate women. We are just separating it. It's the same thing when we talk about guys. It's dudes that are respectable gentlemen, and it's dudes that, you know, that they like to call lame, but that just takes care of their business and they're not involved in any of the nonsense. And then it's niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's some straight up niggas in the street. And so we separate them. We not all the same. We all you may think about that because social media may try to convince you that all men is bad or black men. Nope, we not all the same. We're all different. Just like y'all different, we different. And this is a situation where this is clear. Anybody with any good sense, anybody that's been raised in the hood, anybody that has been to a couple bars here and there, anybody that know what's going on, knows that this is usually over either some form of jealousy, it's either some money, which I can't imagine because the only thing that I can think of when it comes to money is you jealous that another nigga got motion, or it's over a chick. Or it's over a chick. And here's the key. It could be all of them above. It could be because he got money, he got motion, you jealous, and he got the hoes. And that's why I be telling dudes, like, just because he getting it, because I see a lot of this happen all the time. He just so happened to be an off-duty police officer with a gun and a badge, and we see this type of stuff all the time. You jealous of another man to where you would go and track him down? Is he messing up your money? Is he threatening your family or something like that? Because you got to be able to walk away and let it go. I see dudes that piss me off every once in a while. I was at the ATM the other day. Completely unrelated, but I'm going to tell you all about controlling your anger. I was at the ATM the other day before I went over to Croatia. And you know how if you go into they got the ATMs for Chase in particular, there's locations that got after hour ATMs where it's enclosed. So you put your card in and then it unlocks the door and then you go in there and you do whatever you got to do on the ATM and it locks itself on the outside and it's a safety thing. It prevents people from being able to come in behind you and do that type of stuff. So I'm in there and I'm doing my thing. And next thing you know, I see a guy come in. He sees me. He hits his thing, beep, and he comes in. He put his card in and he's sitting there waiting, standing behind me. And I'm like, and the inside, I was fuming. I was on 10 in the inside, but on the outside, I controlled myself because if I had got into a conversation and then we start arguing, now we being pissed off over something that we can walk away from. You see what I'm saying? But it's just like common courtesy, conversations. I've learned how to walk away from things, and very few of us have learned how to control our emotions, especially when it comes to issues that got to do with money and women. And this dude, and it's a lot of these type of guys, let me tell you, some of them got a badge. Some of them got a badge. Is these type of guys, instead of just saying, you know what, that nigga getting it, or you know what, he took my hoe, or you know what, everybody just rocking with him, you know what, I'm chilling, I ain't even tripping about it. Instead of just being like, you know what, it's enough out here for everybody, because there's some dudes out here that just got motion. There's some guys out here that the women just like. It just is what it is. That's their lot in life. You may not even know what they're suffering through. He may have so much motion that nigga might have AIDS. He might have HIV. He might have boxolitis, and that may slow him down from getting his money. Bro, everybody got problems. His problems ain't your problems, but you so busy being jealous of the fact that he got motion that you shoot this dude 17 times in the back. And they said that all of them hit, which means that he wasn't running away. He didn't turn around. He got shot 17 times in the back, and this dude is free. How do you shoot somebody 17? Because do you know how many 17s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a lot of shots. And all of them hit at the same time. Listen, this ain't self-defense. This ain't a confrontation. This is an execution. This is not self-defense. This is not justified. This is an execution. You cannot shoot somebody 17 times, don't miss in the back, and don't consider it an execution. This is an execution. And I don't care who you are. Nobody deserves to be executed on the street unless they get caught with a little kid or they a serial killer. Unless you like that. So you get carried out the bar, he got carried out the bar, whatever. And so you go and find him. Nah, dog, nah. And so we need to start calling out the bad behavior. We need to start calling out the bad behavior. He walking around with a badge. That's what he looked like. And why is the Atlanta police taking so long in order to bring this dude to justice? What is there to investigate? I just did. I just gave you the reasons right now. What is there to investigate? I just gave you the reasons right now. Jealousy, hoes, pissed off. He called you a hoe to your face. You didn't like it. You used your gun and your badge to go and track him down, and you shot him 17 times in the back. That's my analysis, allegedly. That's my alleged how I analyze a situation. That's my alleged analogy of the whole thing. Sounds pretty normal. I don't see guys being mad at guys just doing wild stuff for the sake of doing wild stuff. I don't. And so we got to start controlling ourselves. Matter of fact, not only do we have to control ourselves, that's why I don't even interact with certain people in the chat no more. When I see Dusty's, I just let them be. That nigga is a crash dummy. Because we got to learn how to not put ourselves in certain situations. I ain't going to no hood bar. I ain't arguing with nobody. I ain't going back and forth no more. Either I am or I'm not. Ahmad says, as a recently retired police officer, I must admit I strongly agree with you that we can be worse. Take your officer brothers to the side and ask them. They will confirm. And I love police officers. I think that police officers are some of the best people on the face of the earth. They are the first ones that arrive when you call for help. When you having an issue, you call 911. You don't call your chick, you call 911 because they can't do nothing for you. Your chick can't do nothing for you. The police officers are the ones, the first line of defense. They don't get enough respect. But we got to root out the bad ones because the bad ones is making the good ones look bad. The bad ones is making the good ones look bad. And this is one of the bad ones. This is one of Tyree Nichols' beating was not justified either. I agree with you 100%. I remember reviewing that case. I agree with you 100%. Jealousy over a hoe, and then you got your fellow police officers going after that dude. This is why I don't even want no group job no more, honestly. I don't want a group job. I don't want a job where I have to have a patrolman with me, where I got to have a partner with me because I don't know this nigga. This nigga might be a crash. He might be one of them jealous dudes where I have to participate in group activities. I don't want to do that no more because I don't know you. And then you're going to expect for me to be loyal to you because we both got a badge, but you a piece of shit. I can't. I have grown to the point as an adult. When you're younger, you got to do what you got to do. When you're older, you did what you had to do in order to do what you want to do now. I'm not in a position to where I need to be doing group activities. I don't even like riding motorcycles with niggas together. Because I ride my motorcycle and you see somebody and they want a group ride. I don't group ride. I'm not a group nigga. I'm not a fraternity member. I'm not a group dude. I'm not a participate as a group type of guy. I am, this is what I'm doing and I'm moving this way. And so we here until we not, and we keeping it moving. I don't like hanging with nobody except for a bad chick. I don't want to be with nobody unless I can feel on your thighs. I'm a lone wolf, 100%. I don't want to hang with nobody unless I can feel on her thighs. Don't put no chick. My passenger seat is reserved for something that ain't got something in between their legs. That's what my passenger seat is for. That's just me. That's my personal experience. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm telling you that I am a person that is infected with boxelitis, and I love to have a beautiful woman that is laying next to me or riding next to me or is in her feminine energy. That's all I want. I don't want these jealous ass niggas around me, mad, plotting, trying to figure out how to get to you or get to your chick. I don't need none of these niggas around me. I don't want no guy around me. The only thing I want around me is a homegirl. That's all I want. All I want around me is a homegirl. All of that other stuff, you can have it. Y'all can hang out together. And I know that different people prefer different things, but I'm just not one of them. That's just me. That's just me personally. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's move on. I want to go over to Mexico City before we get into the other thick of things. Eric OG says, what up, though? What up to my dog, Eric OG? Thank you, my friend. Thank you for holding me down. I appreciate you for the 20 balls, supporting the platform. Big Boy B Dash says, AD, are you worried about RFK banning certain things in our food that can make the food taste nasty? I am a international traveler. I have experienced, and one of the best places that I've ever ate was in Tokyo, Japan. I have experienced life without preservatives. I have experienced a different taste palette that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no trash in my food that's going to make me sick just because it tastes good. Why would I be worried about that? You know what I'm saying? I would say the United States of America probably got some of the worst food in the world. Not from a taste perspective, but from the trash that's inside of it. James Luke Divine says, good afternoon, AD and everyone. I pray that everyone having a blessed day. Question, discussion for the show. Democrats keep talking about Project 2025 like some conspiracy. What is Project 2025 and any takes? So Project 2025 was something that they were using to try to prevent Trump from becoming president of the United States of America. And so it was this document that was written by an individual that was a part of a far right extreme group that basically highlighted how they wanted to do this and they wanted to do this and they wanted to do this after Trump became president. That would affect poor people or something like that. Affect black people, poor people, all of that type of stuff. AR Smitty says, 6 feet, buddy. That's like standing next to my urinal. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, salute AD, salute. Also says, thoughts about Sonya Massey situation. It's a new situation with Sonya Massey? Thank you, Eric Parrish. I appreciate you for subscribing. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, Mike Epps is doing Club Shay Shay. That's dope. I like Mike Epps. I love Mike Epps. I think that Mike Epps is funny as hell. The recap room says, Anton, you really doing God's work. Hashtag bag chaser. Shout out to the recap room. I appreciate you. Tanea says, good morning. AD stopping by in between college classes and clients to send love. Also, thanks for the iPhone 17 Pro feedback. Mine came in the mail this weekend, and I love it. Jesus Christ is King. What up to Tanea? I love T. Brian, the filmmaker, says, how am I just now hearing about this? If this was a white cop, it would be everywhere. The fact that this isn't national news is nuts. That's why I'm bringing it to y'all on this platform. Listen. That's why we got independent news outlets. Y'all need to watch everything. Let me pivot for a minute now that we're done with Mr. Walker over there doing some evil things. And I want to go over to Mexico City. So I recently visited Mexico City, probably a few months ago. Recently visited Mexico City a few months ago. And they over there rioting. They tearing up, they protesting, they rioting. And this is what's going on in Mexico City. I'm going to break it down for y'all. Hold on. Did the police just kick dog in the face? Did the police just kick homie in the face? Did I miss something? This is completely different than my experience in Mexico City. My experience in Mexico City was like a dream. Everybody was having a good time. The police just kicked dog in the face in Mexico City. He deserved it. They just scrapping. That's all they doing is scrapping. This ain't nothing but a gang fight. This ain't nothing but a gang fight. That's all this is a gang fight. You was just up there in April too? Me too. My experience in Mexico City was awesome. It was none of this. It was none of this at all. Mexico City. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I wasn't in Mexico City. Where was we at? We was in somewhere else. I had vlogged it. Where was I? Where was I at? It was Mexico City. I was in Mexico City. Oh no, you got to catch an L, dog. Look how he throwing. Look how he just threw. Look at this throw. Hell no. No, you got to go, dog. You got to go, big dog. You got to go. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to let a dude that throw like that beat me up. And y'all want to let these monsters over here? And y'all want to let these monsters come over here inside of the United States of America? Is there some good Mexicans? Of course there are some good Mexicans. Of course there are some good Mexicans. But y'all want to let these people come over here and change our culture inside of the United States of America? Hell no. Hell no. Y'all, these people is over there tearing up and destroying everything. And y'all want to let them over here inside of y'all want this inside of the United States of America. Like we ain't got our own problems and we ain't got enough nonsense that we got to deal with personally. And y'all want them over here. What do y'all think that they're gonna do if they come over here? Yes, they got machetes in the crowd. And the police officers ain't even got no guns. The police officers is fighting with hands. They got police officers laid out on the ground. Laid out on the ground, elevate to the unknown. And these people throwing bottles. They got machetes. Shh. You got to nip this in the bud. Whenever you allow for them to be able to hurt your own, that's why police officers, they so vigilant. Like if you hurt a police officer or a police officer get killed, they coming after you. You know why? Do you know why the police officers in the United States of America is so vigilant about punishing people? Is because it's rules to the game. Like even drug dealers, even some of the most vile criminals, they do not, the rule is you don't kill a cop. Why don't you kill a cop? Because you don't want the full force of the cops that's coming down on you and to completely shut you down. And so you got to abide by the rules of the game, because if one of theirs get hit, then they have to make an example out of you to nip it in the bud, because they don't want everybody to think that it's okay to be able to hurt and kill cops. And so that's why they break you down. In this situation, the crowd smells blood. And because the crowd smells blood and they didn't nip it in the bud in the beginning, now they feel as though they can get away with it. And this is how an uprising starts. Now, are they protesting the right thing? We'll get into that in a minute. Let's deep dive into, I'm going to pivot for a second over the Fox News's coverage of it, because I like to get the real authentic coverage. And then I want to get, the other coverage after that so that we can have a bigger conversation on if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. But this is what Fox News has to say about the whole situation.
Massive protests breaking out in Mexico City. More than 100 police officers were injured in these violent clashes outside of the National Palace. The unrest follows the assassination of a mayor who had criticized Sheinbaum's approach to fighting drug cartels. Demonstrators, many of them Gen Z, accused the president of ignoring cartel violence and rejecting U.S. help to combat it. Leonardo Falcon and Ignacio Gonzalez are here. They have a podcast called the Leo and Nacho podcast in Mexico, and we've had them on many times on Fox Noticias. I'll start with you, Leo. Why don't you just explain to the American people what is happening at this moment, because Mexico is in full revolt right now.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, good morning to the United States and good morning to you, Rachel. And what Mexico is currently facing is a national awakening. What we're looking at, what you're probably looking at in the screens, is a protest of the Gen Z movement in Mexico, where there are no parties that they are leading this. It's the youth, it's the Mexican people. It's not about the left, it's not about the right, it's about the Mexican people wanting the best for the country. And we're all together in this protest. We're all together for a better country, and we see it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We saw over more than 100,000 people during the streets of Mexico, and it was pretty impressive from our part to see it for the first time. And we were actually there, so we're very happy of the people that showed up in the country and that they are pushing for a change.
Nacho, why are the Mexican people so angry at Claudia Sheinbaum, your president?
Well, in a country which you have 60 murders and 40 missing people a day, every single day, of course they are shocked. Of course they are shocked.
Yeah.
We, the youth, are really desperate because we don't see the light. The generations see the teenagers after this horrific situation. We decide to protest.
Yes.
Not with a flag of any political party, no, because they are killing us.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Okay, so what do you believe that Claudia Sheinbaum is complicit in this? We've had senators on here, Senator Lily Tejas, who bravely said Mexico is indeed a narco state, and she said that Claudia Sheinbaum and her Morena party, the political party she belongs to, is in business with the cartels. Is that true in your opinion, Leo?
Well, when we look at what Nacho just mentioned, when we look at 60 murders, 40 missing people every single day, the narco state of Mexico makes it pretty obvious that there's some things going on behind the curtains in the Mexican government. Yeah. This is sad, but what we look at here in the protest is that there's actually a noticing.
So, first of all, that's not a protest, that's a riot. All right, that's number one. That's not a protest, that's a riot. Second thing is, I thought that Claudia Sheinbaum was your savior. Remember when y'all said, oh my God, yes, the first Jewish woman president to be elected as president of Mexico? I thought that this was what y'all wanted. Wait. So wait a minute. Is the honeymoon over? Tell me if the honeymoon is over. I thought, because I was just covering this less than a year ago. Shout out to you, Henry. I was just covering this a year ago, and y'all said that she was not a part of the political state, that she's an outsider, that she's a Jewish woman that speaks Spanish, that is going to turn the whole country around, and she's going to stand up to the cartels, and she's going to change things. And now, over in Mexico City, they are rioting, not protesting. They are rioting. I did cover it, Keisha. They are rioting because they are mad and holding her as complicit and continuing to support the Mexican cartels and the missing people, the drugs, the fentanyl coming over the borders. Now, when Trump said it, oh, no. Because listen, they're not saying, these guys right here are not saying anything that the president of the United States of America have not already communicated to the people. They're not saying anything that the Trump administration has not already communicated to the people. Trump said, listen, the cartels should be considered a terrorist organization. We need to close off our borders to stop letting them run stuff over here. They human trafficking, they drug trafficking. We need to deploy our own military, our own National Guard, our own Border Patrol to have more power to be able to prevent this type of stuff from coming in the United States of America. And not only that, we need to hold Mexico accountable, including President Claudia Sheinbaum. We need to hold them accountable for all of the things that they're doing, and they don't really want our help because they're complicit in what's going on, because it is a way that they're continuing to fund these crooked people and these crooked politicians and these organizations over in Mexico. Now, Trump said this, and everybody revolted, and our white apologist liberals said, no, we stand with you, Mexico. We like your limes. We like your tequila. We like your vodka. Don't tariff them. Don't hold them accountable. Don't tell them that they're supposed to do more to close off our borders. Don't tell them to hold the cartel accountable. We like them. When Trump said we gonna hold them accountable, the people here in the United States of America protested. Yes, they did. And I remember. The people here in the United States of America protested. Trump said they got to get the fuck up out of here, bro. If you're not a legal migrant, if you're illegal, you got to get up out of here, bro. You can't be here. We're not having it. We don't know what Auto Pen did. We don't know what Auto Pen Biden had going on, but you got to come up from out of here. But now, all of a sudden, everything is making sense.
Actually, noticing of all of the Mexican youth, of all of the Mexican families, that they are saying, how can this be happening? And when you have such a big amount of the population mad, upset at what's happening in the country, something is going on. And that's when you have a protest like the one we had yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, people should understand, not only was that mayor murdered in public with his wife and his child there, but then a few days later, another mayor was executed. He was actually decapitated, his head placed on the hood of his car. This kind of stuff happens all the time. It's totally normalized in Mexico, and the Mexican people are sick of it. Now, President Trump, Nacho, has said, I'm going to take on the cartels in Venezuela. And of course, they're a transnational network.
Yep.
And that includes the cartels in Mexico. He has gone to Sheinbaum and said, will you help me? But her help appears to be very superficial, not real. What do the Mexican people want, Nacho, especially Generation Z? Because Generation Z is the one who is sort of fueling this protest. In fact, Claudia Sheinbaum printed out the names of all the Gen Z influencers like yourselves who were encouraging people to come out and protest, which is like putting a list out for the cartels. So tell me, do the young people like you want the help from President Trump's administration and from our military?
The Generation Z want peace. We don't care if that peace come with American flag in the left arm or the right arm. We don't care. We want peace.
Interesting, because I remember just a while ago, just a few months ago, literally.
Presidente Trump dijo, queremos ayudar a México. Y para ayudar a México, pues queremos mandarles, entre otras, tropas, o si es que lo necesitan.
Trump offered troops, he offered help, he offered military, he offered a lot of things. And what did they do?
Y yo le dije, no, Presidente Trump.
And I said, no, I don't want your help.
No, podemos colaborar en muchas otras cosas dentro del marco de nuestra soberanía y de la territorialidad que a cada uno de nosotros nos corresponde. El presidente Trump dijo mano dura a el tráfico de armas.
Trump said that he would be tough on arms trafficking from the United States to Mexico.
Estados Unidos a México. Eso no se había oído nunca de un presidente de los Estados Unidos.
Never been heard from the president of the United States of America before.
Y es importante para México que se detenga el tráfico de armas, así como nosotros estamos trabajando.
So Trump actually offered to help this woman and to participate because he wants them to separately on their own become their own great country. And they rejected it. And they rejected it. And you know why they rejected it? You know why they rejected it? Well, according to the people that are rioting over there in Mexico City, because of corruption. And y'all celebrated this awesome woman. She ain't even been in office. Has she even been in office more than a year? A little over a year she's been in office and she already getting protested against. Ain't that something? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. As usual, we're going to continue to cook. Let me read some of these super chats. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says Sonia Massey is a lady who was killed by the officers in Illinois. I know. I'm saying, is there a new update? Because I covered that months and probably well over a year ago. Is this some kind of new update that I'm not aware of or something? Max Glenn says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Max Glenn. Elevate to the unknown. My gas says Mexico City is lovely. Even the police were out there practicing for the World Cup, dribbling everything in sight, including that man's head. More Than Mellow says, my friend lives in Mexico. They are protesting over the cartel violence and kidnappings. The police and government are working with the cartels. Of course they are, because they're fallible. They're the police. They're people. Wesley Turner says Mexico's Gen Z wants America's help to fight the cartels, and our Gen Z wants the cartel in America. What is going on out here, AD? Well, it's because they spoiled over here. More Than Mellow says the president had 30 people killed to win that vote. I don't know about that. Aaliyah, what up, Aaliyah? Says Anton just showing some love on this Monday. What up, A? What up, baby girl? What's up? All of my people in New York, let's talk game. Says, hey, D, do you believe what is happening in Mexico will happen in New York and Seattle? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Will people revolt? Yeah, but the only way that they can change that, hey, Anton, is by actually voting differently. Hey, Anton, did you hear that Apple CEO Tim Cook may step down soon? Everybody got to step down eventually. Let's see. Tim Cook. Apple intensifies succession planning for Tim Cook, according to the Financial Times. Yeah, I mean, eventually he got to step down. Here, let's see.
Muy fuerte.
I want to say that for the money part. Let's see. I'll go into that on the money aspect of things. I'm not going to go into it right now, but he got to step down eventually. How old is Tim Cook? Oh, he only 65. He only 65. He didn't make a gob of money. Let me see. He didn't make a gob of money. How much has Apple collectively paid Tim Cook as CEO?
That's a bit tricky to calculate an exact total since his compensation varies quite a bit each year and includes things like salary, stock awards, and bonuses. However, in fiscal year 2024 alone, his total compensation was around $74.6 million. Would you like to know more about specific years?
2023, what was his compensation?
In 2023, Tim Cook's total compensation was around $63.2 million. That includes his salary, stock awards, and other compensation. Would you like to know more about the breakdown of that number?
How long has Tim Cook been the CEO of Apple?
Tim Cook has been the CEO of Apple since August 2011, so that's a tenure of over 14 years. He took over from legendary co-founder Steve Jobs. Is there anything else you'd like to know about him?
How much was his total compensation in 2012?
His compensation in 2012 was actually much lower than previous years, coming in around $4.17 million. Specifically, the reason for that was because he had already received significant stock awards in the years prior. Did you want to see the comparison to other years?
What was his stock awards and what was his compensation in 2010 and 2011?
Tim Cook's compensation in 2011 was really high, around $378 million due to a significant stock award that year. The year before, 2010, his compensation was around $59 million, also including stock awards. Are you interested in the details of those stock awards?
No, I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, have a great day.
That's insane. That's not ChatGPT, that's Gemini, just to let you know. So I don't use ChatGPT, I use Gemini. Gemini is Google's one. So I only exclusively use at this point Gemini. I don't use ChatGPT. So, but I don't use it for my own personal conversations. I know y'all like to use it for therapy and stuff. I use it for informational purposes and to educate me on things quickly. So I use Gemini, I don't use ChatGPT. Oh man, that's crazy. He made $300 million in stock compensation and total compensation in 2011 alone. Yeah, I mean, hey, nigga made several $billion at this point. I mean, if Tim Cook wants to step down because he wants to do other things or something, and you're 65 years old, I ain't tripping about it. And then you know what's so funny? They'll sit here and tell us that we're supposed to just have, you know, having a job is trash. Shit, nigga, is you crazy? Apparently, you're not aware of what a job can pay and executive compensation and all of that. Man, skip that having a job. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a tool to make money so that you can then deploy it to do the things that you want to do. Having a job is awesome. Listen, having a job is to get compensation. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Let's move on to the next part of the show. Oh, wait, I got to finish some of these super chats. How you doing today, King? I see you back. I'm doing all right. If you wasn't at work right now, I'd call you. Tell you personally. More Than Mellow says added a wiki link of all the people taken out prior. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to get into this major retail conversation. Let me see something. Let's go to this one.
We can pretty much take it all. Fridges and dishwashers, couches, mattresses.
Premium only.
Donald Trump has publicly targeted the Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her wacky, calling her Marjorie Traitor Greene. In a Truth Social post as well on the weekend, they used to be buddies, these two, not so much now. Joining us live is political analyst Joe Siracusa. So it really does, as I mentioned last hour, it shows this MAGA split, doesn't it, where you got half of the group who want full exposure, everything to be released, Joe, but you got the other half, and we're talking about Donald Trump here at the White House, which is reluctant too, because there are victims' names in it, there's problems with identity, et cetera, right? So therein lies the problem.
Yeah. Well, here, before we even get into Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's go back a little bit, because I literally just got less than a few hours ago a thing where Trump saying that he support Republicans voting to release the Epstein files completely.
Your reversal from President Trump.
I don't care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friends. This Reid Hoffman spent a lot of time on the island. I was never on his island. Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times.
Trump last night making his new position clear. House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax. It comes ahead of tomorrow's expected vote in the House on a bill that could force the release of all of the Justice Department's files on Epstein. The lead Republican co-sponsor of the bill says more than 100 Republicans may support it.
And you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, the record of this vote will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
Trump this weekend attacking his former ally, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a lunatic and a traitor after she supported releasing the files.
I believe the country deserves transparency in these files, and I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
Greene saying since Trump's attacks, she's received multiple threats, saying this puts blood in the water and creates a feeding frenzy, and it could ultimately lead to a harmful or even deadly outcome.
I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Trump says he cut ties with.
All right, so we got a little bit of insight from that. All right, so we're gonna back up for a second, and I want to go back to the conversation about specifically him cutting ties with her, because that is a big thing. So let me pivot for a second and say that she did jump off board. I don't think that this has anything to do with no Epstein files. I don't think this has anything to do with any of that. Let me read a little bit more.
Good morning. Look, the MAGA diehards believe that there are things in Epstein's files, his safe, videos, etc., that reveal the deep state, the swamp, so to speak, and they don't understand why Donald Trump doesn't want to expose all this. Now, Trump probably has his reasons, both legal, personal, and who knows what, and he fell out with Marjorie Taylor Greene over this issue. Now, she had a brilliant defense of herself this morning. She did, I think, an 18-minute interview on CNN, and it wasn't just the Epstein tapes, Pete. She was complaining that Trump has taken his eye off the ball, off the economy, cost of living, health costs, and things like that. And there was too much. Trump was spending far too much time thinking about foreign aid and foreign assistance and getting into foreign wars. And of course, the number one impulse of MAGA is to concentrate on America first. And she positioned herself very well. She said, he's still a good guy. It's just his, she regretted the whole thing. She regretted adding to the toxicity of American politics. A little late for that. And so Trump's got a couple options here. He can let the Epstein stuff go public, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who are embarrassed. I can't imagine why. Keep in mind, Pete, the only person who's gone to jail over the Epstein crimes has been Ghislaine Maxwell.
Now, let me give my opinion on this. All right, I'm gonna give my little soliloquy of what I think is really happening. I'm gonna speak on it from the Epstein's files specific situation, and then I'm gonna go over to Trump versus Taylor Greene. All right. Number one, I think that the reason that they really don't want to release these files is because I don't think it has anything to do with Trump. If they were trying to use it to take down Trump, then they would have did it during Biden's administration. Because we all know, and I've already went over my opinion on this, we all know that they wanted nothing more than to have Biden take down Trump or to prevent Trump from ever getting into office again. We knew that from what was happening in New York. We knew it from what was happening in Fulton County, Georgia. We knew about the little trash case that they was making down there in Florida. We know all of that. So the goal was for them to not prevent him from ever getting into office. And we know that from Fani Willis to Letitia James. All right. That goes without saying. I believe that the real thing is that they don't want more powerful people to ever be exposed to having a closer tie or relationship with Epstein. Honestly, I believe that Trump is probably protecting some people, Democrats, maybe even a little Bill Clinton in there, that would probably benefit him. And I think that the collateral damage will probably be people that are close to him that are also very, very successful and high powered up. I believe that if Trump is taking L's because he is probably friends with some people that could be tied up reputationally, business-wise, but it also would be collateral damage with Democrats. I believe Democrats have very powerful friends that are on that list, And as a result, Republicans also have very powerful friends that are on that list. I don't think that this has anything to do with Trump at all. I don't think that this has anything to do with Trump, but Trump, because if you remember, even during the campaign trail, Trump was one of the biggest proponents of releasing the Epstein files. Oh, yeah, I think it goes way further, Yakar. I think they go way further. Way further. 100%. Listen, you're never going to convince me that he hung himself in jail. And I think that it will be collateral damage the whole way around. Collateral damage the whole way around. Now, I don't really give a fuck because I know that powerful people do insane things and they are some of the most evil people on this earth. That goes without saying. I really don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't care whether they release it or not. It's not going to change anything. Nobody is going to jail. Nobody is going to prison. And it's not going to do nothing. All right? Now, let me pivot over to Greene. All right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is why I will never, ever try to make friends when it comes to politics. Because she was one of the biggest, fakest Trump supporters that you could ever see in your entire life. Now, if Marjorie Taylor Greene really wanted to have Trump move differently, guess what she could do? She has access, not only as a congressperson, but also as a person that campaigned for him to be able to get in touch with him. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is what I would call a RINO, is what we call RINOs. It's called a Republican in name only because she didn't have a conversation with him. She went straight to The View. She went straight to MSNBC. She went straight to CNN. She didn't even go with any conservative network. She went straight to the ops to try to say that, you know what? I don't like the political infighting. And her end to be able to do so was to use the releasing of the Epstein files as a result of it. And so what she did is completely against the rules. What are the rules? Is that you don't switch up on the homies. And if you have a disagreement, you have that disagreement in private. You have the disagreement in private. Even if I disagree with my friend, to you, I don't have nothing to say. To them, we can have a furniture moving session when it's just me and him. But I don't throw the homies under the bus that you benefited from. She is pandering. She is pandering. She is pandering. She is pandering. And the first time that you've seen her start to pander, which was also the worst time, was during the government shutdown. She was the first weak link to expose herself in the Republican Party, and she did it during the government shutdown. Now she's going on a Hellraiser tour, and she's tripling down and quadrupling down up to the point to where Trump was like, all right, well, listen, I got to disown you. I got to disown you. And so that is what is happening. She's switching up. She switched up during the government shutdown. She was weak. Republicans, conservatives, MAGA, they all defended her. They all defended her, especially when she was going through her thing with Jasmine Crockett. They all defended her. They had her back. And in the first sign of distress in which the government shut down, she started to try to jump ship. She started to try to jump ship. And this is another reason why you can, and I couldn't believe it. The View was giving her grace. And you know why The View giving her grace? She's so dumb. She don't realize this is the thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene don't realize, all right? What she doesn't realize is that they don't fuck with her. They don't mess with her. She not cool. They don't look at her as somebody awesome. They don't mess with her. They just don't like Trump.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she will no longer use political rhetoric that she's now calling toxic, and she's apologizing for previous derogatory comments she's made. Listen.
I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country. I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward.
The Congresswoman publicly shared that she's been receiving a, quote, hotbed of threats she claimed were being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world, President Trump. Joel Payne and Kevin Sheridan join us now for a strategy chat, politically speaking. Joel is a CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist, and Kevin is a Republican strategist and formerly served as a spokesperson for the Republican National Committee. Good Monday morning to you both, gentlemen. Thanks for being with us. Joel, let's start with you. You know, MTG developed a reputation as a firebrand conservative. So why apologize and change tone now, do you think?
Yeah, it's been quite the transformation for Marjorie Taylor Greene of late.
It's called a
Ultimately,
rebrand.
look, she's a member of
People do it all the time. It's called a rebrand. All right. The rebrand, well, all right, let me break it down. Women do it when they're coming out of a hoe phase a lot of times and they're looking to get married. Or let me tell you when else they do it. I see it personally. I'm gonna relate it all the way back up to MTG. All right. Because she's been one of the weirdest, foul-mouthed type of people that I've ever seen in my entire life. Or they think that they can convince you that they're a changed person based off of y'all having similar political beliefs, but they're still liberal in the way that they go about live their life. So what they'll do is that they'll do a rebrand, and then they think that they can come to me and jump on one of my panels, and then ultimately they're going to now be a conservative trad wife, and they're going to reserve themselves because I used to be this type of person, but I'm not like that anymore. And so this is what I live my life like. This is what I live my life like. She's going through a rebrand. And part of it could be because of the shutdown. Another part of it could be because she's seen the effect of socialism with Mamdani and the Seattle mayor, who we're going to talk about in this next segment. She's seen the repercussions and the impact that they had when they had their support system. It could be a lot of different things. But women can pull this off, men's not so much.
Congress, she's got to represent her constituents, and it'll be up to her constituents whether or not they buy who Marjorie Taylor Greene is presenting. She has said hurtful things. However, she has also taken some bold stands recently to challenge Donald Trump. And I think both of those things have to coexist and be true. And I think for Donald Trump, what it portends is his grip on the MAGA base, on MAGA loyalists like Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to be slipping, which suggests that Donald Trump is seeing his presidency enter a phase, which a lot of us have been portending, which is the lame duck phase, which is as he is in his second term, and he will not be on the ballot again. Donald Trump's hold on the Republican Party and the Republican brand becomes less powerful.
And that is probably why she's also going through a rebrand.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on. So if she's, because see, it's so funny. It is so hilarious. It's so hilarious. If she's apologizing for the toxicity that is happening in Washington, D.C., is she apologizing for her participatory statements, or is she apologizing to turn against the people that was already in Congress or the people that's in the president of the United States of America? Because I just want to be clear. I want to be clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a RINO, but only now, because she was 100% MAGA. She wore the hats. Hold on. Let me tell you how fast people switch up on you. She didn't even wait. Let me show you how fast people switch up on you. This is what happens. Because see, you're going to go through some ups. You're going to go through some downs. This is her. Now, those hats just came out within the last couple months. I know because I got one and I ordered it, and it was when Trump was wearing it and it was running around. No, I call her Marjorie, not Marjorie. Marjorie. That's what I'm going to call her. Just a couple months ago, this is how she was rolling. Y'all better stop trusting these people. Y'all better stop trusting these people, man. Y'all better stop trusting these people. They're going to disappoint you. They're going to be out here in these streets making you look stupid. She was just talking about Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. Just talking about Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. You know what? It makes me question leadership, honestly.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
That's beneath
would
even
you
you
please regain order of your committee.
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Oh,
see, she was tough. She was very tough. She was very into it. Are your feelings hurt? Oh,
girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play,
Baby girl?
We are gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down.
I second that motion.
So, you agree to strike your words?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Greene agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
needs to
recognizes
apologize. No. She
Perry.
needs to
Okay,
apologize.
hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Greene
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
retracting.
apologizing.
baby girl. Baby girl. Y'all said Marjorie, not Marjorie. Marjorie is so fake. They all fake. They all fake. If y'all believe that AOC saying baby girl, if y'all think that that was real, come on, bro. Stop, man. They all fake. MTG is fake. We can see that by the switch up. AOC is fake. Baby girl. Jasmine Crockett is new. She not real either. So it's all fake. Honestly, I'm not a fan, and I know that this is probably going to burn some of y'all, and y'all going to feel some type of way, but hear me out. I'm just not a fan of women in certain positions of leadership. I'm not, bro. I'm not a fan of women in certain positions of leadership. I think it erodes our public institutions. It erodes what we see happening and playing out in real time. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I think that it is absolutely, positively horrible. And we have to be more careful about who we put in office. Honestly, I'm genuinely, I'm 100% genuine in that. I'm 100% genuine in my thoughts of that. We have to be a lot more careful with who we put in office because it is eroding the trust of the public. Y'all don't like that? Y'all don't like that? Is that bothering you? Is that problematic for you guys? That I think that women, we need to move back towards traditional family roles. I'm not a fan. MTG is more conservative than Trump. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's a rhyme. She's fake. We don't really know what she is. We don't really know what she is. I'm not a fan. I think she's fake. Now she's doing her apology tour, and she's doing a tour with all of these different liberal outlets. I think it's fake. I just honestly think it's fake. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go for there. Nichelle says, is it common for CEO or people on BOD to get RSUs or stock options every year? Yes, of course they do. That is their compensation. That is why they make the majority of their money. That's how they make the majority of their money, is through stock options. They're okay. So let me show it to you. Tim Cook yearly salary breakdown. So, for example, Tim Cook's 2024 yearly salary breakdown was $74.6 million, consisting of only $3 million base salary, $58 million in stock awards, $12 million in non-equity incentive compensation, and $1.52 million in other compensation. Only $3 million of his total compensation came in salary. The smartest people that don't need money, and this is why I tell you guys, to get out of debt. Now, of course, none of us are Tim Cook, but it doesn't mean that we can't learn from them. And the first thing that y'all got to understand is money makes money. But in order for you to make money, you have to eliminate the debt. You can't be dependent on your regular salary in order for you to make money. Because then you can take bigger pay packages by being able to defer your compensation, by being able to take stock options and incentives instead of, y'all say only $3 million. Yeah, for a person that get paid somewhere between $74 and $300 million a year, that's chump change. That's chump change. I'll give you an example. I'll give you another example. When you guys, thank you, Nichelle, on your regular job, for a lot of y'all, you may not even be aware of it, but you have an option, and I forgot what it's called. I don't know why I always forget what it's called, but you have an option, for example, to take a portion of your salary in stock and you don't even know it. Go and talk to your HR professionals. It works at almost every major company and publicly traded company. ESPP, correct. An ESP, yes. 401ks, yep. ESPs, yep. You can take deferred stock compensation at a discounted rate, which actually generates you more revenue. You know why most people can't do it? You know why most people don't do it? Because they've raised their lifestyle and their debt to match what their income is, and so they need every dollar and every paycheck in order to survive. But if you actually reduce the amount of money that it takes for you to live on, then you can take the deferred compensation. You actually get to buy stock in your company at a discounted rate, and it requires for you to keep it in this account for like a quarter. You can sell it later or you can leave it in there. But you won't be able to do that if you're dependent on your salary to survive. You understand what I'm saying? So people that make smarter decisions with their finances are able to have deferred compensation, which will then graduate into having more money. Have you ever seen 50 Cent is a perfect example. Instead of taking a salary or whatever, an endorsement contract where he's basically getting paid salary, he gets paid this much per year. He took equity into Vitamin Water, right? Because he actually believed in the company. There's a lot of people that want to be paid in equity instead of being paid a salary, because the first thing that comes out with a salary is that you actually have to pay taxes on it. When you take stock and compensation in a company, you don't have to pay taxes until you sell it. A lot of rich people, what they do is they hold on to it and then they take a loan out against it which they then don't have to pay taxes on the loan, and they pay it back at a smaller interest rate, really, really small interest rate, because it's guaranteed against the stock, and then that's how they defer their taxes. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to deep dive into it. Somebody said they would prefer for me to deep dive into it on the Patreon. Then that's what we would do. Bag chasers, I'll break that down for you. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications. AD, do you like the Jim Fab, Dave, and Mano pod? I've watched 2 episodes. I watched the one where they had, it was like the first one. I think it was like one of the first ones where it was all 4 of them on there together. And then I watched the one where Jim Jones was talking to Fat Joe. I think it's cool. I don't have no problem with it. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, do you think people have to be educated to have $500 plus, to have 500 plus million? Yes. I think you're missing what education means. To be educated does not necessarily mean you have to have a degree in a specific field in order to be able to get to the bag. To educate yourself is to make yourself knowledgeable about something that you can then execute on and capitalize off of. That's what being educated means. To educate yourself is to learn. Like, for example, I was already a software engineer before I went into software engineering. But I also, because I had educated myself on becoming a software engineer, back end, front end, design, so on and so forth, right? But also, I realized if I was going to break into that industry, I had to go back to school to get a degree, even though I already knew it. So I was educated before it. The degree allowed for me to be able to get into the door. Does that help you? So yes, absolutely, you have to educate yourself. Nothing worse than a woman scorned from a governor endorsement run being rebuffed. Shout out to David Simpson Jr. I appreciate you. Just a Brown Girl in America says, so disappointed in her. I defended her against Blackity Blacks about Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. You did the right thing. You don't know that they was going to switch up. Now you know what men go through on a regular basis. Shadow Dragon says Epstein files will solve nothing, in my opinion. Prince Andrew was exposed and he was only ousted from the family. He is still rich and living a luxury life. David Simpson Jr. says, Bianna, Paulina, Luna, not Marjorie Taylor Greene. Abe the Hunter says she is just disagreeing with giving money to Israel. No, that's not what she said. It's not what she said. I take people at their word. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, do you think a lot of people that look into the mirror and say, we tricked them today, they say, let's plan for tomorrow? I have no idea. Aaliyah said, do you need me to go on break? No, get that money. Stay focused. Don't worry about it right now. Nicole Lowe, what up, Nicole, says women need to go sit down somewhere. Jezebels. I couldn't agree with you more. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. How did I miss this? How did I miss the Crypt Keeper becoming actually, I covered the debate. I didn't cover the full debate. I only covered the guy's side. But actually, I covered the debate between her and the guy, the incumbent mayor of Seattle. I covered that. But Katie Wilson is now the mayor of Seattle. Katie Wilson is the mayor of Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people are saying that she's 10 times worse. 10 times worse than Zoran Mamdani. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
7 minutes after the hour now, she's been called the Mamdani of the West. Self-proclaimed socialist Katie Wilson is Seattle's brand new mayor-elect. But is she a reflection of the Democratic Party's lurch leftward, or is she just the right fit for Seattle right now? We want to bring in Seattle Red talk show host and friend of the program, the great Jason Rantz. I kind of love these segments because I can just say, Jason, you got 2 minutes. Let us have it. But I'm going to tee you up by a little sound here first, my friend. This is Bruce Harrell. He basically said, all right, if this was what you want, we should listen. Listen to this and get your reaction on the other side.
The Wilson administration will have new ideas. They will have a new vision. By winning the election, they have earned that right. We must listen to the young voters.
As a progressive and as a socialist, I believe in good governance. Our government is how we act collectively.
They don't even hide it anymore, y'all. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're telling you that I am a progressive and I am a socialist. They're not even saying I'm just a Democrat. I'm a progressive Democrat. I'm liberal. I believe in being a good corporate partner. I believe in smart government. They are just saying outright, I am a socialist. I am a socialist. They are not hiding it anymore. They're telling you straight to your face, I'm a socialist. And people are going for it.
So we have an update on the mayor's race. The mayor-elect, Katie Wilson, speaking for the first time since the incumbent conceded. Here's a tweet for you. Breaking news, Katie Wilson, a socialist newcomer, will be Seattle's next mayor after the incumbent, Bruce Harrell, conceded.
I am so happy to be here.
First-term Mayor Bruce Harrell conceded his re-election fight to progressive activist Katie Wilson today. Another victory for leftist Democrats around the country who are frustrated with unaffordability, homelessness, public safety, and the actions of President Trump's administration.
Seattle is supposed to be one of the more liberal hellholes, right up there with Portland. Seattle was supposed to be one of the more liberal hellholes, meaning that Seattle, because listen, they over there protesting at Starbucks, they over there protesting Amazon. You got to remember, Seattle was home of Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks. All of these places have huge corporate presences in Seattle, right? Super liberal. The only thing they lost was the Supersonics. Now, they have always been super liberal, so much so to where the incumbent was a person that said that he didn't believe that, and I don't know if y'all remember me saying this, but I did a review video where an incumbent basically said he didn't believe in criminals being locked up. He was a real diversity, equity, and inclusion guy. So let's be clear. You're not seeing a whole big departure, a huge departure from what you originally did. They're just more of what you guys don't like. That guy right there, he is 100% super liberal. She is just more of him times 10. Think of the guy that got ousted in Canada and then he got replaced by Carney. That's what you're seeing right now. Then he got replaced by the current, I don't know if you call him a president of Canada. What do you call him? The chancellor of Canada or something like that? So this is what you see happening over in Seattle right now.
Mayor Harrell previously served 3 terms in the city council.
What up, Jesse?
He identifies as a centrist Democrat. He led the race in the early results, but the later votes broke heavily in Wilson's favor. Now, Mayor-elect Katie Wilson did speak for the first time today since Harrell conceded. Let's listen to those remarks.
I am so happy to be here on this quintessentially Seattle day, a rainy day in November, to say to all of the people of Seattle, this is your city. And I am delighted, beyond delighted, to be your next mayor. It is an honor and a privilege that I will do my very best to be worthy of. It is hard for me to believe now that when this year began, I had no intention of running for any type of political office, let alone mayor of the largest city in the Pacific Northwest, my home for the last 21 years. This is the city where my daughter was born and will be raised. This is the city where I have spent my adult life, where I worked repairing boats and renovating apartments, and where I co-founded the Transit Riders Union with friends and community members 14 years ago to organize and advocate for the interests of working people. Seattle is a great city, a spectacular city, and we are also now a big city with big city problems. of homelessness, unaffordability for working families, and growing divisions along lines of class and race and community. 9 months ago, I made the decision to run for mayor because I sensed that the people of Seattle and its government were out of step, that voters were in search of a new direction, and that our problems required new leadership. It has been, I think it's fair to say, a bruising 9 months. But now the fight is over, and it's time to come together. Mayor Harrell called me earlier this afternoon to congratulate me on a successful race. And shortly after, I watched the live stream as he gave a very thoughtful and heartfelt address to the people of Seattle. My speech today will be a little bit shorter than his, but don't worry, you'll hear plenty of me in the weeks and months to come. I want to sincerely thank Mayor Harrell for his many years of service to Seattle and to our entire region. We may not always have agreed on matters of policy and priority, and I think it's safe to say that our political visions differ in some significant ways. But I believe that both of us ultimately want the same thing, and that is the very best for Seattle and all of its diverse communities, opportunities for our young people, and a great quality of life for all. I want to recognize that Mayor Harrell has been, and I'm sure will continue to be, a person of great importance to this city, and that he has spent much of the last 20 years serving the people of Seattle, first as a council member, and then, not once but twice, as he reminded us today, as our mayor. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Leading a major city is an incredible...
What is this chick's name? Katie Wilson? Let me see something. Katie Wilson. Wow, we're the same age. We're both 43. Let's see. She's an American politician, a political activist, a community organizer, and a writer who was the mayor-elect of Seattle, co-founder and executive director of the Transit Riders Union, a group that focuses on improving public transportation and workers' rights. Raised in New York, graduated in 2000. Salutatorian. She studied physics and philosophy in Oxford, England, withdrew from Oxford 6 weeks before she was scheduled to sit for the examinations in the final hours of school for her degree, and moved to Seattle in 2004. So she didn't graduate. Worked several jobs after moving, including working in boat repair, construction, and as an office assistant. Co-founded the Seattle Transit Riders Union, called TRUE, a nonprofit 501c focused on improving public transportation in Seattle and King County, where she has been paid as a full-time employee since 2019. Tax records show she earned $73,000 from the nonprofit, and she served as executive director. So basically, she created a 501c, and she paid herself $73,000 to advocate for improving public transportation. Wow. In 2020, she played a role in the creation of Seattle's Jumpstart Tax, a payroll tax on private employers to fund affordable housing. She was critical of Mayor Bruce Harrell for proposing redirecting Jumpstart funds to balance the city budget instead of affordable housing projects. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. Her political views. She is a supporter of rent stabilization and organized in support of House Bill 1217, which requires rent hikes in the state of Washington to be a maximum of 5 to 10% per year. So it can't go up any more than that. So rent stabilization, similar to New York. She's married to fellow activist Scott Myers, who she met in high school. They rent a one-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill and have one daughter. How do you rent a one-bedroom and have one daughter? She does not own a car, primarily rides public transit to get around Seattle with her daughter, previously used a bicycle for transportation, although she relies on transit since having a child. Wow, that's crazy. Well, the people in Seattle are definitely in for a ride. They're definitely in for it. When I think of people that are socialists, what that means to me is more taxes, an imbalanced budget, free for everything, but somebody got to pay for it. And I think that Seattle, just like New York, is going to be in trouble. Seattle, just like New York, is going to be in trouble. Seattle budget. Surplus. What's up with all of these liberal cities outside of Detroit having a deficit? Seattle was currently facing a deficit at the city level with projections of a $200 to $250 million shortfall for 25-26 at the state level. Washington also faces a significant deficit, estimated at over $12 billion over 4 years. Both the city and state are implementing measures to address these shortfalls, such as budget cuts and new revenue sources. Wow. Well, you guys elected a 501c3 employee to deal with your to deal with your budget deficit. I guess they're gonna raise taxes. I don't know. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Wesley Turner says both of Seattle's mayors sit down when they pee. Oh man, y'all so mean. This show is my jam, says Jesse V. Shout out to Jesse V. I appreciate you. A.R. Smitty says, but I am not surprised even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. Hell of a show. All right, well, what are we pivoting into? So Seattle, I'm watching y'all. I'm paying attention to what's going on in Seattle. Hey, I heard that Charlotte, y'all mentioned in the chat that Charlotte, a bunch of arrests with ICE. This lady is so fucking fine. I don't know how old she is. I don't know what's going on. But this lady is bad as hell, bro. Bad as hell. I don't care. I don't know about her political affiliation, all of that. I pulled this up and I said, what in the world? Let's stay focused. All right? Let's stay focused. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications.
Tonight, officials in Charlotte, North Carolina are urging calm amid the latest immigration crackdown. CBS's Chanel Call reports on the details of the Homeland Security's department, what they're calling Operation Charlotte's Web. Chanel.
And Eureka, Homeland Security officials say about 100 people were arrested on Saturday in Charlotte by Border Patrol and ICE. That city's Democratic mayor says this is causing unnecessary uncertainty and fear.
This cell phone video captured the moment U.S. Border Patrol smashed Willie Acetuno's car window because he wouldn't open his door. Acetuno is a Honduran-born American citizen and was injured during his arrest. This is the second time in 10 minutes I was stopped, he says. He showed them identification and they left.
Brandy, they're in our yard.
Well, y'all better start. Listen. Let me say this very clearly for the people in the back. Because I know a lot of y'all going to say, oh, no, but he an American citizen. I don't give a fuck. And the reason why I don't give a fuck is because you get treated like everybody else when you don't open the door. Roll the goddamn window down. How is this any different than anybody else said in it? Have y'all ever seen cops? Bad boys, what you gon'? When nothing come for you. They bust out white people's windows. They bust out black people's windows. They just punch through the black person window. When nothing come to you, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they no way. No way. Come on a minute, no way. Hey, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when hey, no way. No way. Bad boy. What you gonna do? Black people go through it. White people go through it. Everybody goes through it. You're not special. Roll down your mother effing window or get it bust out, and we gonna find out who you really are. That's not the remix. That's the original. That's not the remix. Look, I don't care what the words say. I know what I interpreted it to be when I heard it come on. All right? I know what I interpreted it to be. I'm not learning the words. I looked at the words before. The words are stupid. The words are dumb. I like our version better. Hey, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I'm not learning no words. I go with what it is that they say. And you know, black people, we gotta put the remix on it. When they come for you. Ooh. I don't care where you from. If you from Honduras, if you're from Ecuador, if you from the hood, nigga, roll your window down or open up the door, or we gonna find out who is in that car. Found myself putting a little extra sauce on some songs in the car this morning. You know what I'm saying? Always putting a remix on it. Roll down your window, dog. Tell me what you got going on.
Just blocks away, a resident spotted agents moving in on her landscaping crew as they were putting up Christmas lights. No arrests were made. Commander Gregory Vino is leading the crackdown after spearheading Border Patrol efforts in Chicago and Los Angeles. In a social media post, he said many of those arrested had criminal and immigration histories.
Listen. We coming for everybody. We're coming for What's up, Crimson? You so cute. We coming for everybody. We coming for tree cutters, Home Depot workers, or people that's waiting outside of Home Depot looking for work. We coming for everybody. I'm not tripping about it because I got all American workers that work for me. Rita just sent me the text message that showed me that they working on the deck. And it ain't nothing but good old beer drinking, beer belly having white Americans that are putting together the deck for the property that we are about to have out there. Good old people that's going to spend it right in the community. They're not going to send it home. They're not going to do none of that. They just going to work hard and they're going to put this thing up. You don't believe me? I'm telling. She just sent me the picture. Or she sent me a video. Oh, this is a video. Okay. So I get to see the whole thing. See them working on it? I'm going to give y'all the update later, y'all. I'm going to give y'all the update. That's them working on the deck in the backyard. Good, wholesome, beer drinking, getting in an argument with their wife, get put out, sleep in the car, come back the next day, apologize, and try to get the kids to school wholesome Americans. That's what we need. We need to start normalizing wholesome Americans doing toxic shit and keeping the money in the community. That used to be the way that we kept the jails funded. You go out, you get arrested, you know what I'm saying? You get caught drinking, you pay your fines and fees, and that's how we kept the jails open, is at the fines and fees. We don't care nothing about that. You cutting trees, I don't give a fuck. If you ain't got your papers, get your papers. Get your papers, and we ain't gonna have no problem.
In total nationwide, the Department of Homeland Security says more than 500,000 people have been arrested and deported during these operations. The federal agency says its intent is to ensure Americans are safe and
Oh,
press. Today was the second day of protests over the immigration crackdown in Charlotte.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
Well, it looks like Nick Shirley will probably be in Charlotte, so does that news break. It looks like Nick Shirley will be out there, I'm sure.
This round of sweeping immigration raids. This time, it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Federal agents raided job sites and parking lots, arresting dozens of people over the weekend as part of what they're calling this Operation Charlotte's Web.
That's a nice
The
name.
raids were met with protests and objections from local leaders in a city that, prides itself on welcoming.
Is that a black woman out there?
With protests and objections from local.
Ma'am, look at these black women. Y'all didn't get the memo? It's a black man over there on the left, too. Y'all didn't get the memo? All right, hold on, because apparently y'all was left out. Yeah, I got the memo, and I'm not even a liberal. I got the memo, and I'm not a liberal. Do you know what the memo was? The memo was black people are sitting this one out. I got the memo, and I'm not even a liberal. I'm conservative. They sent it to me in a group chat. They said black people are sitting this one out as far as protests, and I said, really? Really? Y'all didn't know? Let me move this out the way and have a conversation with y'all. Black people, I don't know if y'all got the memo. Black people are not to, whether you're conservative or liberal, you are not to participate in protests when it comes to illegal immigration in this country. It's a lot of things that you can protest. The last thing that you're supposed to be protesting is illegal migrants being inside of this country. It don't matter. We're supposed to have bipartisan agreement on this one. We're supposed to have bipartisan agreement on this one. They sent it on your black card renewal letter. Facts. We're supposed to have bipartisan agreement. Listen, we disagree on a lot of things. Liberals, conservatives, y'all call us out of our name. Y'all call us coons. We call y'all sassy. That's the light word for it, sassy. But we're supposed to have bipartisan agreement. Black people are supposed to be sitting this one out. Ain't nowhere in the world you ain't got nothing better to do. I know you got something better to do. I could look at your headphones and tell that you got better things to do than to be sitting there. Listen, we got to get our money up. What black people don't understand is that this is unprecedented times. This is an unprecedented economic opportunity for you. When everybody else is distracted, you're supposed to be getting your money. When everybody else is protesting, you're supposed to be applying for their jobs. When everybody out there is crashing out, you're supposed to be taking advantage of the situation. You're not supposed to be caught in the same space as people that are wasting their time and beating on the bottom of Home Depot buckets. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You don't know no better? You don't know no better? You didn't know that? When everybody else is busy doing things that they're not supposed to do, you're supposed to be out there in the streets, big dog.
Leaders in a city that, prides itself on welcoming immigrants. Skylar Henry has more from Charlotte.
Federal immigration agents swept across Charlotte over the weekend, from landscaping gigs to shopping centers, arresting 81 people on Saturday alone. And yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security said a U.S. citizen drove a large van at law enforcement mid-operation, ramming cars and injuring an officer before he was arrested. The immigration raids drew protests in a strongly Democratic city where around 18% of residents were born outside the U.S.
A lot of friends and family and acquaintances who say that they're not going out. They're having their kids who are citizens go and pick up their clothes and food for them.
Customs and Border Protection Chief of Patrol Gregory Bovino uploaded photos of several people who were apprehended, claiming they are in the country illegally and outlining their alleged criminal history.
I'm going to get you.
But in videos posted online, some who were detained said they do have legal status. That includes Willie Isatuno, who was filming as federal agents broke a window of his truck before detaining him Saturday, even though he says he's a citizen. They threw me to the ground, and I always have my papers with me in my bag, he said. They didn't care. I told them many times. Once the agents did look at his documents, Isatuno said he was allowed to walk back to his car.
Any level of coordination with local or state officials has been basically non-existent.
Mark Jarrell is the chair of the Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners.
People are scared. They're living in fear.
Good.
I don't know who is being targeted. I don't know if it's a community or if it's individuals.
Commissioner Jarrell also told us that it is unclear whether federal agents will continue sweeping Charlotte in the days ahead, or for that matter, where they could be. Next, internal Homeland Security preparations obtained by CBS News have listed New Orleans as the next target.
Nolans. We gonna go city to city, state to state. Charlotte, they ain't even really doing y'all dirty. They only arrested like 188 to 100 of y'all. Y'all shouldn't even be making a big deal about that. Y'all shouldn't even be making a big deal about that. So what? They stopped at Home Depot. They picked up a couple people in the parking lot. Different people were saying, oh, no. I have immigration. I have my papers. Okay, so you showed your papers. They let you go. And now you cool. You chilling. You ain't even got no big deal. It ain't even a big deal no more. Y'all shouldn't even be tripping about this. This shouldn't be a thing at all. You guys should be cool with this. It shouldn't even be a problem. And New Orleans, you know, it ain't nothing but Haitians down there in New Orleans, right? Well, who down there? Who's still hanging out in New Orleans? Who's still hanging out in New Orleans? You said, why are they telling the next location? I don't think that they purposely telling the next location. A lot of times information gets leaked. So whatever y'all got going on, I think that they're going to continue to chase y'all down if you are illegal inside of the United States of America. Otherwise, you're going to have to get yourself together. You're going to have to get yourself together, and they're not messing around. They coming for you. And I'm with it. I'm still for it. I still think that if you are here illegally, you gotta take care of business. I heard New Orleans got a whole lot of Haitians down there, though. Is that true? Is New Orleans got a lot of Haitians down there? I voted for it too. So if you got your papers, like my man said, then you ain't gonna have no problems. But if you don't have your papers, then you're gonna have to go ahead and head back home. I don't know nothing about busting. Okay, so like for example, here we got an apologist here. Busting dude windows and saying he is fine is wild. He is fine. He'll be all right. He can get that fixed. Nigga should have pulled out his papers faster. Should have pulled out his ID and identification faster. If they say open the door, nigga, open the door. Why you acting like this is new? This ain't new to regular people inside of the United States of America. It ain't gonna be new to you either. You don't get no special treatment. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. I know a lot of people that got a whole lot of things. I know people that ain't got some bruises, got some hands broken, got their arms put behind their back. The cuffs are super tight. Comply and you ain't gonna have no problem. Facts. Keep on going back and forth with you, nigga. Don't ride dirty. Have your papers, and you good. And they let him go, didn't they? Talking about a window? You must be soft. Where you from, Ike? You must be soft. A window? We're not having that. He gonna have to spend $450 for a new window, and just because he wanted to go viral. Nah, bro. See, Dean, what you don't understand is this, bro. He not spending $450 on. I don't know where y'all getting these numbers from. $450, $600. That's because y'all privileged. Y'all are privileged. That's not how you fix a window. All right. I see that I'm not the one that's privileged. Y'all are privileged and y'all forgot where y'all came from. The cost for replacing a window is only about $50 tops. It's 50 today, right now. Is $50 tops. You want me to tell you how to do it? I'm a survivalist. It doesn't matter where I go, what I do, what hood I'm in, or how much money I got. I know how to move. I know how to shape. A lot of y'all ain't built like that. If you don't get somebody to give you a job, you don't know how to hustle. You don't know how to go and get it. Rodney, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Buy a $30 window from Pull Apart Junkyard. Rodney, get it. You go to a junkyard. You got to take it off yourself, though. You go to a junkyard. You pay $30 to $50. You go and get the window. You take it off. They'll tell you whether or not they got those type of windows. You got to go over there and take it off yourself. Then you go in. You pull the inside of the door off. You reinstall the window. It take you $30 and some time in the afternoon. You got it. Go to the junkyard. They don't know. They don't know. It's going to cost you $450 to $600 to go and get a new window. Nah, dog. I don't know if you know what kind of car he had. What we used to do when we needed a part, and I learned this from working on my 86 Buick Regal, we would go and call around. Hey, you got this, you got that, you got this, you got that. You call the junkyards. You had to go in there. You had to go and take it apart yourself. And then you bring it home and you reinstall it, and you had to piece it out. Because they didn't make certain parts for certain cars anymore. They didn't make certain parts for certain cars anymore. Facts. You could pay $100 QBZ and they'll go and get it for you. See, we different. We come from a different era. We coming from a different environment. All of these new people, facts, they don't know how to change a tire. They don't know how to, they be crying and complaining if they ain't got enough gas in their car. We used to go to the junkyard and piece that junk out. They still got them on the east side. Ton of cars. Go to the car, piece it out, tell them every part that you want, and go and get it. Yes. Ryan's on the east side, over near 7 Mile. Yep. We'll go and piece it out and go and get that joint ourselves. 100%. It's going to cost $450 to $600. That's because it's you new. You new to the game. So you're going to go out there and waste your whole day. You're going to DoorDash and you're going to go and get a new. Nope. We're going to go to the junkyard and we're going to get it. And it's going to look better than the one that we just took out. Facts. Facts. Holbrook Auto. Facts. Shout out to Holbrook on the east side of Detroit. That's over near, I think that's closer to Highland Park, actually. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all don't know nothing about it. Y'all don't know nothing about this life. Y'all soft. They soft. Y'all soft, bro. Soft as baby food. So weak. AR Smitty says, now, I thought we looked up the words one episode, didn't we, AD? I'm chilling, AR Smitty. I don't know what you're talking about, big dog. Crimson, what up, Crimson, with your pretty smile. Esham says, what up, AD? With socialism becoming more popular, how would you market capitalism in today's society? I wouldn't market it. I would just continue to capitalize off of it. The biggest way for you to listen, you know how, what they don't understand is that in socialism, it becomes a greater divide between the haves and the have-nots. I wouldn't market it. I would capitalize off of it. Socialism actually helps us because it's much easier for us to capitalize off of your ignorance. That's what I keep trying to tell people, is that when we really lean into conservative values, that's the equal playing field. When you lean more into socialism, it actually works in our behalf. When you lean into liberal policies, liberal ways, we make more money. People don't know that. We're actually going against our own best interest and the interest of the United States of America and people. I wouldn't market it. I wouldn't market it. I would just capitalize off of it. Buddy fell over like Humpty Dumpty. Just Incredible says, my dad talking about be safe ICE is trying to provoke black people out here. Almost told him to shut the F up. Hey, do you know, y'all don't know, but this is one of the greatest blessings ever because ICE don't pull over black people. They don't beat in the hood. They don't pull over black people. They have to do a special operation like they did in Chicago to go inside of an apartment building that's taken over by illegal migrants. And then they prepare themselves. They have helicopters and all of that. They ain't randomly pulling over no black people. I don't know if y'all know that. ICE ain't thinking about no black people. I zoom right past the police. I dare them to pull me over. I'll be chilling. I don't even be caring no more. Easier to swap out the whole regulator and the window, says More Than Mellow. And it's easier to tint when it's off. AR Smitty says, word to the cops. You already touched on it, though. It's easier for us when we're doing it this way. It's easier. One more thing that I had a conversation with y'all about on, actually, I got more than one subject. And I'm going to have to shelf some of it for next week or for tomorrow. Because we only got so much time. And I told y'all we was going to be back to 3-hour shows. I warned you. We had 2 hours and 37 minutes right now. We're back to 3-hour shows, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get a round of applause. When I was over in Croatia, I had to limit it because time was different. When we back at home, we back in the cut and we working. All right. Timestamps is going to be back in this video shortly after we done. But I want to revisit a conversation because migrant neighbors decided that they wanted to build a monstrosity in a Fairfax neighborhood, and people are pissed at it. All right. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We're going to spend 13 minutes on this one. All right.
Northern Virginia neighborhood tonight over a new addition being built onto a house. Fox House Bob Barnard in Fairfax County with the details and a look at that construction causing the uproar.
It really is a sight to behold here on Marble Lane in the Greenbrier section of Fairfax County. That 3-story addition to a home built in the 1960s that's now the talk and outrage of the neighborhood.
I mean, it looks like a townhouse. It looks like a portion of a townhouse that has been added on to a small A-framed 1-story house.
Is that almost a flat roof? I don't even think that roof is sloped enough for when it snows. Oh boy. Honestly, when I first started reviewing this video, when I first looked at this and your car sent it to me, I said, that looked like a disaster waiting to happen. And I was only looking at it as far as how close it was to the neighbor's house next to it. It looks like an apartment building.
Courtney Leonard lives literally in the shadow of the new addition being
And Courtney is the one that called the police, just to let y'all know.
Built onto her next door neighbor's house.
Design-wise, it doesn't look anything like what it's attached to or anything.
Look at the scale of that mug compared to what them standing next to it. Hey, the neighbors ain't no joke, bro. You can already see the plywood look like it's starting to come off of it. Can y'all see that? Look at the plywood in the upper right hand, like the middle right hand corner, the middle window. Look at the plywood on the middle window. The plywood is already starting to come off. I don't know about y'all, and I'm gonna break this down, but let me tell you something. Inspectors here in Michigan and all of the cities that I've worked with, they on your ass, boy. The time that it takes me to build a house can be significantly lower if I didn't have to deal with the inspectors, the engineers, the departments. They don't mess around here in Michigan. What I thought was going to take me a year took me 18 months because they don't play here in Michigan. You got to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed. When you get your house together, when I build a house, it's a house. It ain't going nowhere. It's there. When I build a house, it ain't going nowhere because the inspectors here don't fuck around. They don't mess around. The plywood is already starting to come off. The roof don't even have no slope. How do you get approved to be able to build a 3-story house? And let me tell you how they did it. When you go to a meeting, when you ask for a variance, right? And a variance is something that goes outside, slightly outside of the guidelines. Let's say you want to build slightly higher, or, you know, you're still on your property line, but they say that you got to build within so many feet of the end of the property line in order to, you know, whatever, so on and so forth. And different cities have different criteria. It is called a code variance. Different cities have a different criteria. They zone it a certain way because you can't do certain things in certain neighborhoods, right? So what happens is you have to go before the city council, which also brings an engineer or it brings a certain person from the department, and you have to schedule it and you have to make your pitch. And I've done so plenty of times because I want to move it 6 inches to a foot. I don't want to deal with the possibility of getting caught up with no foolishness. So we always proactive. If we go for a variance and we say, hey, listen, we got plenty of backyard back there. Y'all got old laws. We want our house to extend a little bit further into the backyard because we don't need no massive yard. We just want to have a deck, or we want our deck to extend a little bit further across the house. We don't want it to just be this little small square. So you go for a variance. You ask for a variance when it comes to certain things. I've always been approved for my variance, but here's the key. It's not about getting approved. It's about the fact that the neighbors have an opportunity to voice a concern for whatever it is that you're pitching. So you're on a docket. They tell you what you're on a docket for. It goes out to the community. Most of the time, 98, 99% of us don't pay attention to what is happening in city council until it's too late. Then people want to protest and people want to go and they say, oh no, we don't want this, or like she's doing right now. But what really happens is they give the entire community an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I don't want that variance, or it's going to be too big, or it's not going to match up with the aesthetic of the neighborhood, or the lot is too small, or whatever. And the city council people, this is why politics is important. For you to get involved with your community, for you to get involved with what's happening in your community, you can determine whether or not a business is going to open up on a corner. You can determine whether or not they're going to put a new gas station in. You can determine whether or not this big company is looking to get tax breaks. You can start to voice your concern. You can participate in the success of your own community. And so I guarantee you, even though they didn't have laws on the books to prevent them from doing the bullshit that they're doing, I guarantee you that the community had an opportunity to get involved and either to add laws, prevent laws, to participate in the success of their own communities and to stop this from happening. You can proactively stop it from happening by going reading your laws and going reading your codes and how they zone. And you can go and say, hey, listen, this is what I want. When politicians come to y'all and they say, hey, listen, what do you want in order for me to get your vote? That is when you are supposed to participate in the political process because it is your community. This is Fairfax. I don't know what community it is, but that is your opportunity. Black people keep asking for dumb shit. White people keep asking for dumb shit. Everybody keep asking for stupid things inside of their community because they're not paying attention to the real issues and what you want. You can say, hey, I don't want tax breaks to go to this, or hey, listen, I know that they're looking to pitch and build a new stadium, or I see that it's a developer, or a corporate entity that's looking to buy up all of the land and all of the property. We need to stop this. We need to participate. We need to do this, and so on and so forth. So now you got the neighbors, migrant neighbors, that's looking to bring in 3 generations of people. That's literally what's happening now. They're bringing in 3 generations of people to live in an apartment building that's attached to the house. And you could have stopped it, but you didn't. And now you got to live next to it. You could have stopped it, you didn't. Now you got to live next to it.
Anything else in the neighborhood.
Courtney says there's no HOA here, so no rules that have to be followed.
And that's another thing. This is why HOAs came to prominence in the 90s and the 2000s. HOAs came to prominence. It was a extreme solution to a problem that we had started being seen. And so people wanted to maintain a standard, didn't want their property values to go down, didn't want drugs, didn't want certain things happening in the neighborhood. And that is why they started to implement HOAs outside of buildings where people bought condos. Condos were largely for, and that's why a lot of times if you see an HOA, it'll say a condo in this condo, even though it's a house, is because a lot of times they're designating the area as a condo so that they can then charge you an HOA fee to control what is happening inside of the neighborhood so you don't have shit like this happening. Now, if you got pretty much good neighbors and stuff like that, most of the time you don't have to worry about it. But HOAs now have gotten out of control to where they're using it like we always do. We use an extreme value of everything to go and take other people's houses or to put liens on people's houses or to control how much they get. And so they've become corrupt in a lot of places. I have a home that I own, that I rent out, that is in an HOA, but I only pay $45 a month. Something like that. $40 a month, $120 every 3 months. Every quarter, we got to pay it every quarter. So, my HOAs for that particular environment, and I've owned that house since the 2000s, have never really raised. They've only gone up like $5 or something like that. So there are communities where HOAs are okay. But this in particular, this could have been prevented on so many fronts.
Other neighbors tell us they're okay with this, that 3 generations of a very nice family will be living here. That family told us they had nothing to add to our story.
They bring in grandma and her crew. They bring in all the grandma's kids. They bring in the cousins, the sisters, the brothers. Everybody is coming into the neighborhood now. They don't even know if they got this level of parking for this.
According to the zoning laws, they are well within their rights, and there's really nothing I can do about it.
Courtney says she and her family were given no advance notice.
Seems to me that when you put something like this up, you want to talk to your neighbors about it, but we have not spoken to them since.
It feels like it's not real when you see it. I mean, you've seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
Did you see the pitch on that house?
Like it's not real when you see it. I mean,
That's crazy. That is almost a flat roof. That is almost a flat roof. There is no real pitch on that roof. That's going to be bad.
Seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
Katie Dash lives several blocks away and says she's alarmed, like many who know about this.
And so I think we're all just concerned if it could happen to her, it could happen to any of us. And I'm still confused how it was approved. I think that's our biggest issue in the neighborhood. It's like how there has to be something wrong.
It's been weeks and weeks of back and forth. And
you see how it's completely blocked out the sun? Don't get no solar panels. You're not going to get no energy. Don't go get a power wall. Don't get nothing. It is completely blocked out the sun. They staring in the shade. That's crazy, bro. I will put my house up for sale immediately.
I love this neighborhood, and the people in it have been so helpful. It just feels like there's nowhere else to go at this point.
We turn to Pat Harity for clarification. He's the Fairfax County supervisor for this area and has been out to see this with his own eyes.
Clearly does not belong in our suburban neighborhoods. A structure like that, 8.5 feet from the property line, three stories tall for the length of the lot. It has no place And we need to fix our zoning ordinance to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Supervisor Harity says he's going to propose that fix at the board's meeting next Tuesday. In the meantime, late today, we heard from Fairfax County staff that while this addition does fall within the zoning guidelines for height, as built, it's too close to Courtney's property line.
That looked crazy. That is insane, bro. That is absolutely insane. So, anyways, y'all can't prevent this. You too can prevent forest fires. Y'all can prevent this. Y'all can stop it. But you choose not to because you don't believe in participating in the political process. And this was a great show today, bro. This was one of them ones. I think it's because I'm back in the studio. You know, you gotta be gone for a little while to miss something. I need to get these balloons out of here. These balloons been standing in here for a long time. You got to be able to miss something. They still inflated. My 1 million subscriber balloons. Some of them on the ground. Some of them is on the ground, but they still inflated. So, yes. It's been a great show. Great show. Woo! Q show tonight. I'm not going to the Pistons game. Today. They're playing in the Indiana Pacers. They got like the worst league the worst record in the East. And we've been playing all of our bench players. And we still on like a 9-10 game winning streak. So I'm not playing. I'm not going to the game today. I'm going to be working. I got to get that Brian McKnight interview out on Wednesday. So we got to work. And I think I need to get the gray out of my beard. See that? See all of that gray? Got me looking dumb. All of this gray in my beard. See this shit? Gotta get that out of there. Gotta get the gray out. So, what you mean, no? I'm out here looking crazy. I need that jet black. Rock says, "Hey D, can a homie get a happy birthday?" Rocks, happy birthday! Happy birthday, Rocks. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, my friend, for rocking out with us. Absolutely, you can get a happy birthday. And shout out to the bag chasers. Vaughn says, "Hey D, been a minute. How you doing? Did you hear about Staten Island declaring independence from the rest of NYC?" No, I ain't seen that one. You got to send that one to me, baby. Send it to me, Vaughn, and I don't want you to be going disappearing no more. I need you. All right? Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. This chair is so fucking comfortable, bro. Comfortable as hell. Don't keep on talking about the Jason Wilson interview. I got it. I didn't like the audio on it. The audio was messed up. But I think I might reshoot it, though. I think I'm going to reshoot it. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to reshoot it. All right. You look distinguished. Nah, keep the gray. Oh, my God. We here, though. We here. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the greatest audience on earth. Q show tonight is popping. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I'm out. Peace.